All right, welcome back to another episode of the Falcon Punchcast. We're finally at episode 10, which is really surreal. You know, since every episode's like 2 hours and everything, there's just like a whole lot of the two of us speaking. But once again, I'm joined with my good friend Hamza / Darth Messiah.
Hello, I am the Bumblebee to Shaheen's Optimus Prime.
All right, so we're going to do that comparison.
I thought of multiple. Each episode, I'll give you one.
I'm the Bucky to his Captain America. I'm his.
Yeah. I am the Billy to his Shazam. Yeah, which doesn't make 100% sense.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a little. that one needs some work.
Yeah, or I am the Black Adam to yours. No, that doesn't work either.
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
No, because then that would
you hate each other. You watch so many superheroes, man. How do you not?
Yeah. Or like my other one I have is like I am the John Kent to your Superman, but then I'm like, am I your son? Okay.
Yeah, this is getting a little weird. I'm like, you could have been at least like, I'm the Patrick Star to his SpongeBob. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm the Pikachu to his Ash. Actually, no, that's a weirder relationship.
Oh no, yeah, you're my like master then. Literally like Pokemon master.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it like that. See, because at least with Digimon, like they're friends. They're not really like.
True, but in the game, you're basically their master.
I guess.
And
I mean,
anybody that doesn't fit in your party, just put them in a digital island.
Yeah, but they're having a good time. They're just, like, because like in a Pokeball, you're like in stasis, presumably.
Yeah.
And, like, what happens if a trainer dies and I'm just left in a Pokeball? At least, like, if I'm a Digimon, I'm left on the island. I'm in the digital world. I could like fuck off and go do something. I don't know. It's like I could go infect a computer. It's like, but like in Pokemon, it's like, oh no, if I'm like stuck in the ball and like something happens to my trainer, what if he loses the ball? There's too many gray zones in Pokemon. I've had a lot of conversations with Hero. Like I don't understand Team Rocket because they're all about like poaching Pokemon. Which like if Pokemon are all over the place.
Yeah, why not just hunt them yourself?
Yeah, like because like apparently they're always after Ash because Ash's Pikachu is apparently special. Like besides that, like why are you stealing other people's Pokemon? Like just go get your own.
Especially like I would understand if the show made it like, oh no, like it takes a lot of skill to do it. But like in Pokemon, like kids like very like easily get them. So it's like, okay, well, if kids can do it, what's your excuse?
Yeah, especially like in like one of the newer seasons, like the Team Rocket, like besides Meowth, they don't really have, also Wobbuffet, but they don't really have that many of their own assigned Pokemon. So Team Rocket has this like I don't know how like a gumball machine thing kind of come down, and it gives them Pokemon to use in that episode. So clearly Team Rocket has a bunch of Pokemon. If they just have that thing flying around in every episode, they just get 2 random Pokemon. So it's like, I don't understand why they're like, I got to steal this kid's Pokemon. It's like, dude, just go in the forest.
We should do an episode where we just very deeply analyze like the children's TV show with like not fully thought out lore.
I'm sure that's going to be everyone's favorite podcast. It seems a very joyful thing to do.
Super detailed, like, why does this not make sense?
Yeah. I mean, just in Pokemon, just because, like, apparently Pokemon are the only animals that live there, but if you watch the anime, there's, like there's fish, and apparently they're eating meat. So I'm like, I'm not sure if they're eating Pokemon. Because the Pokedex does mention some of them do eat each other.
But, like, I can't imagine milking that, like, cow Pokemon, because it, like, stands up on 2 legs and shit. So it's like, I don't...
Just jerk it off, man. Makes it easier. I don't know how this works.
God.
Also, like, a lot of Pokemon, like, are scary. Like... There's some like Pokemon's like, oh, this has a headache, it causes blackouts in city. Oh, this Pokemon drags kids to the underworld. Oh, this Pokemon just rages in towns. Like, I think humans would be killing Pokemon in real life. Like, we'd be trying to exterminate them.
True. God.
I don't think it would be like a friend thing. Like, oh, this is my best friend and we live together in harmony. I'm like, based off this and like especially the more human ones. that would be interesting things, especially considering what like artists have done on in the internet. There was a couple Pokemon that I understood, but then we got to Vaporeon. I'm like, I it's just a water dog. Why are we sexualizing this? I don't This is just a water dog.
Man, I've seen a lot of Pokemon get sexualized. Lucario, especially, because he looks like the most.
Those I could vaguely understand. It's like a furry, like the ones that stand on two legs. I can understand. Vaporeon, I feel like we're crossing boundaries because like that's a four-legged animal. Now we're in like, and it's not like a centaur kind of thing. We're like, okay, at least there's like human top half. Like, no, this is just a dog mermaid. I'm like, I feel like we're really crossing boundaries. Like that's just like
okay.
zoophilia.
Let me ask you this: how do you feel about sexualizing robots?
That's a tough question.
Because I can shit you not. If you watch the Transformers Prime animated show,
oh yeah, RC.
No, not RC.
Oh okay.
You know what? I just realized. Yeah, there's I'm sure this like hentai R34 artwork of RC getting like plowed by some big ass engine.
I mean, even then, like that happened with like Teenage Robot.
No. Oh god. Oh my god. Then maybe there's Robot Boy as well. Like.
Oh no, I don't want to imagine that.
No, but like in the Transformers Prime animated show, one of the kids, like human kids, moms finds out about the Transformers and like the fact that the kids are like helping, like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and so forth. She literally like goes into their base to like give the kids lunch or whatever. She's like, "Oh, where's Optimus Prime?" And then they're like, "Oh, he's gone out on a mission. He's busy." It's like, "Oh my god, I wore heels and everything for him."
Oh,
yeah. And then it's like the kid's like, "Mom, stop!" Like apparently, like, she is like, "Oh, this."
But isn't like Prime like a gigantic robot?
Yeah, no. The proportions are all there. Like she's like a tiny human, big ass giant robot. Yeah, but still, like I don't know what this chick was expecting.
You know what? I shouldn't argue. There's a lot of people that sexualize certain Ultramen.
Oh, right. I mean, then there's like that
but,
one.
Okay, but at least to be fair, Ultra people can shrink down to human size, so there's also that too.
That to consider, I guess. But then you also have like that girl in Kaiju Girl Caramelized that wants to get stepped on by a giant kaiju. So,
yeah, the one that you compare me to, even though it's not exactly like that. It's not like that at all.
No. I don't know, man. I feel like this is the future Shaheen one day.
No, listen. See, if it looked more girl-like, if it just looks like Godzilla, I'm like, that's cool. There has to be like a human element to it.
So Godzilla with tits, you're saying?
No, if it had a human upper half, then we'll be talking. But like, if there's not, then now we have issues.
Okay, all right.
Like the middle form, like the horns are just growing out, and like it just has monster. I'm like, okay, there we go. That's the mid ground. Once we pass that, I'm like, okay, now you're a creature.
Okay, all right. We've established that now. Yes.
So yeah, going back to robots, I don't know how, because like, see, technically, one of my all-time favorites is Cutie Honey, who's technically an android.
Oh, right. Yeah. I guess I keep on thinking of her as a magical girl. So like the robot stuff, like kind of like they don't really do it.
It was the early when Cutie Honey was established. Like the magical girl formula wasn't fully there. Like we had Sally the Witch, and even she's like a lot more different than like what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
But still, yeah, so I don't know. It's weird, and especially the way robots and AI has been advancing. I'm pretty sure we're going to be going there someday.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised, but I'm like, for Kamen Rider 01, where it's like all about like AI and he like, making humanoid AI people to help out, people in society and like, your Huma Gears. That's what they're called. I'm like, where are the sex robots? Because you can make a lot of money.
Listen, Arto is a CEO. What do CEOs do to their assistants? No, see, that's the thing. We talked about it. I don't think we ever talked about it on a podcast, but like, the more as time goes on in the real world with AI, the more like the whole like message of 01 is like, maybe Arto was a bad guy. We should have been rooting for Guy. Zaya believed in humanity. Like,
yeah, true.
He was he did fucked up things,
Mhm.
what rich guy doesn't, but at least he had humanity in mind. Meanwhile, Aruto's like, no, these human robots need rights and they need to take all our jobs.
That was the thing. I was like so confused. I'm like, okay, they're not going to touch on jobs. Nope, this is just an action show. Human gears are just a new minority race now, kinda, sorta. Yes.
And see, I would be okay if they just did like construction work, like hard things, dangerous things, or like menial tasks, like if they were like the street cleaners, whatever.
But even then, like people need those jobs as well.
That is true.
No matter what job you think of, there's someone out there who would need it, or be willing to do it. Like,
but see, like where I'm going to get at here, like there still needs to be humans behind that job. But I could understand. Okay, fine, we're going to do all that. But then they start doing manga and cooking. That's where I'm like, okay, we're actually kind of dealing with this shit right now. I mean, with the manga, we're dealing with that right now, and there's major backlash. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, you know what? You kind of draw like me. It's cool. You're my friend. It's like, actually, I think the thing with that episode is the mangaka was using his human gear to draw for him, but then he rediscovered his passion. So actually, that kind of goes more towards.
Yeah, he rediscovered his passion, and then the AI robot, the human gear itself, started making its own original manga.
Okay, yeah, so that's where we got fucked. Yeah, so that's where we get fucked up when the AI starts making their own shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then with the sushi one, that one and that was an earlier episode back when I thought 01 was the shit. That one always kind of stuck out to me because there's like this old sushi guy and he doesn't want a human gear because he believes food should be made by humans, and especially sushi, which has a fine craft to it, needs to be done by humans, which right on 100%. I think anyone could get behind that. I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh no, robot should. It's like, no, that humans need to be in charge of that. And then towards the end of the episode, they kind of warm him over and turn him on the human gears, and he's like, oh yeah, the human gear, it actually learned my technique and it has a soul. I'm like, okay, no, you're losing me. I don't know where we're trying to go with this. Now there's so many questions. Do they deserve rights? Because now they kind of have feelings, but like, why we make every time there's a sci-fi series, it's like the robots are humans. I'm like, why? Why couldn't they just be like click-clacky robot?
I mean, to be fair, like it's not a new thing in sci-fi, like robot racism. Like it's not like there are other sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, that's been all the way in Astro Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Even in Star Wars, if you read the comics, there's this like plot of like the droids rising up because they're sick and tired of just being servants. So like it's not new, but like it does get weird because like we technically created you as like a program to do a specific thing, but then you're getting like, again, like, self-aware, and then that's when it gets like scary, and then like it either turns out to be Terminator or I guess the 01 universe.
Actually, I am curious about the whole Star Wars point because I've never really, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I've seen most of the movies and I've never really thought about that. Like,
yeah, the movies don't touch on it. A droid's a droid. Like I can
okay, because like they just. I mean, C-3PO is kind of a scaredy cat, which is like they can't. Like, why is he programmed?
Well, I mean, but he is a protocol droid. Like that, his function is to just be like a diplomat, translate languages. He's not supposed to be anywhere near a battle. So, like, I can understand from his perspective. Like, I get. Like, this is not my function. I'm not programmed for this. What the fuck is happening? Like, I can understand that.
Yeah, but like, I don't remember the movies too well. He kind of forms a bond with everyone, right? So like he's capable of that. He's not just like, I am a robot, I must do this.
Yeah, he does. Even R2, like R2's basically their dog. So
that is true.
Yeah.
But like he can't speak, so we don't think about him like that.
Well, they do understand him though in the movies.
Oh, that is true.
Like he goes beep boop, and they like respond as if he said something. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
That is true.
Han understands Chewbacca.
Right.
Yes.
They kind of do something interesting with that, with like Groot and Guardians Volume 3.
Oh yeah, a Rocket Raccoon understands him. Yeah.
No, but like they kind of explain how everyone else understands him, which is really unique and heartwarming.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure how much of a spoiler it is, but it happens towards the end of the movie. But it's like, oh, okay, this is how everyone understands I am Groot. But anyways.
Mm.
So yeah, I've always wondered about the droids because they're kind of there. 'Cause General Grievous was a droid, right?
No, he was. He's basically a cyborg. He was an alien, but then like something happened to him, and then he got all of these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never
No.
saw the movie. I just thought he looked cool.
Yeah. No, but there are like if you watch the Clone Wars TV show, there are droids that are like battle commanders that like command an entire fleet and stuff. So there is that. Yeah.
Yes, because I always like see at least to Star Wars credit, they look like robots. They're vaguely human, but it's a robot. They didn't put human flesh on it. It doesn't have boobs. It doesn't. It looks like
some of them do,
but they're metallic, right?
Yeah, but they're metallic. Yeah.
It's not like you won't touch it. It's like whoa, it's soft. It's like
yeah. Yeah, some of them are like some of them you don't even know the gender until they start like speaking. Yeah,
there you go. I feel that's because like even humanity's kind of do it. Like there's those freaky robots that can talk, but they're like shaped like humans. I'm like, why are we doing that? Like, I think once we start molding things to start looking like humans, that's where we fuck up.
But like we have because
why can't we just make it a dog?
But like we can't help it because humans think we're the best thing ever because we're the top of the food chain.
Okay, so like be above the robots and make them look like a lower life form, like a dog.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of that, those Boston Dynamic robot dogs? Those things freak the shit out of me. There's something so unnerving about seeing that thing
Didn't they make like a humanoid version as well? I think
they did.
Yeah.
See, that one doesn't have a face; it just stands upright. Which fine, okay, it's still really freaky seeing that thing move. Like if that thing came at me, I'm going in with a baseball bat. I am totally anti-robot. Like I'm sorry, Astro Boy and Cutie Honey, but like in real life, I'm so against you guys.
Wait, then are you against like
you need to be piloted?
Kikaider, Metalder, like
oh
Kamen
no,
Rider.
fuck. Oh shit, no.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, it's Kikaider lives in pain.
Okay, Metalder then. Explain that to me.
He lives in pain too. He's like, why was I built like this? I'm pretty sure if we made him a dog, he would have been like, yeah.
I'm a dog.
I'm man's best friend. I serve humanity. But when he's a human, it's like, I've learned how to love like a human, but I can't because I'm not a human. It's like, see, we did that to him.
Dogs can feel love too. They get attached to their owners.
They can, but like it would be really weird if the dog's like, also, I want to have romantic relations with my owner. It's like it's not going to do that.
What if he meets another dog, a female dog?
Yeah, it's okay because he can't communicate. Oh fuck.
Well, what if he can? What if it's basically like like because he's like it's a robot, right? It's super smart. Like what
they
if you
need
put
to
like
be cubes?
No shape, what's the cube?
Just the cube. They need to be shapes.
But then what if the one cube wants to fuck the other cube?
They're two robots. I'll put like a little USB drive thing and they go.
Anyway,
inserting software into hardware. Be careful. He didn't use protection. He's going to give you a virus. I don't know.
If you know anything from this podcast, just take this away. Shaheen is robot racist 100%.
Listen, I'm just saying for this, we've seen so many stories warn us. Kikaider gets a pass. But
he's
also
one of the good ones.
Okay, but also to my point, he is in internal suffering because of what we did to him because we made him that way.
Okay, then Metalder.
He's also eternally suffering. They're just not going to go too hardcore into it because it's not written by Ishimori.
Is it suffering or is it just like I have a lot?
There's that girl that he's like, I can't really love this girl because I'm a robot.
Okay, all right, I guess.
Also, the way Metalder ends is just like everything's gone to shit.
I haven't gotten that far, so yeah, let's.
And anytime there's a robot that's half red, half blue, it's going to end
very
sadly.
badly.
It's going to end sadly. It's a very dark Pinocchio story. That's the live action Pinocchio we need.
I'm trying to think. There has to be another one. Oh, Iron Giant.
And well, see, he's a giant fucking robot. He's just. And he was made to be a weapon. He wasn't made to be my friend.
but
He learned how to be my friend, and that's good. But it also ends badly for him too.
True.
When we
true,
make
does
like, I'm also being a robot racist for their sake.
You don't understand. It's for your own good that I'm prejudiced against you.
Like the only robots that deserve to have sentience are like the Transformers, because they're like a race.
Yeah,
They have a planet. They have a race. We didn't create them. They're all spark, and they apparently have dicks and everything. They procreate. They're a species.
They don't fuck. It's the comics did go into their origins, like how they're created, but it's a totally different method. They don't fuck.
They don't.
They don't. They have gender, like male and female and stuff. So yeah,
exactly. So like they all that shit's there. So like I feel like if you're a race.
Mm-hmm.
Of robots, it's fine, but if you're like made by a different being, I feel like that's where we start kind of like fucking up, and it's like,
oh, but like, what if, like, okay, let's say for example, like,
this is a very philosophical podcast.
like, okay, fine. I understand. Okay, the first generation of robots that are made by humans, but then once you go, like, I don't know, let's say 1,000+ years, where it's just like robots making robots making robots making robots, and it's like so far beyond, like, they're so far away from like humans. What then?
Well, see, also at that point, like humans have probably gone extinct. They probably killed us if they're going on that
long. What if they
long.
live at the same? Because like,
I don't think we could coexist.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
Because like, as it is, we're already like hyper discriminatory with people of different religions and cultures and colors of skin.
I mean, because that's the premise of Battlestar Galactica, is that we made the Cylons, which are like the robots, but then they rebelled and turned against us. And then
see, every sci-fi story, they're constantly warning us, but we're still like, but still scientists are like, I'm going to slap a human face on this robot. I'm like, have you not learned from every single piece of sci-fi media? It doesn't end well for anyone.
But see, here's the thing. Even if you put it into like a dog shape, if you give it the intelligence of like a human or higher, like it's still going to do the same shit. It's just a dog now.
I guess, but like, I will get you that. That is a flaw of my logic. But like,
yeah, exactly. Like, no matter what shape you put it,
but
in,
like,
okay, unless you make it like, unless I make it an immobile like cube or like, I don't know, whatever. Like, okay, fine, because then it can't do anything unless it's like a R2D2 where it can like put out needles and shit.
I mean, there's still like horror stories with that. Like, there's this brief horror story called, like, it's a short story.
Mm-hmm.
I've only have had it explained it to me. I haven't actually experienced it myself, but it's called "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream." And it's a terrifying story of this robot that like humans made, but like I think it's like a big giant robot. Like, can't really do anything. It's just like basically a giant cube.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm reading the story correctly, it kind of just goes out, destroys humanity, and like the last 5 remaining humans, it just endlessly tortures. Like one of them, it just turns him into like a monkey, but he still has human intelligence, so it's like he can't do anything because he's a monkey, like, but can't speak because monkeys can't speak. And then like another one, I think he just tortures it, and then like where the story gets its title, it turns this human into like a this mess of a creature that has no mouth but must scream. And it's basically this AI is like, yeah, fuck humans, I'm just gonna fuck with all your DNA and like mess you guys up. So like really, I think robots should only serve humanity, but we should not give them enough intelligence to like, because like I remember I've seen stories like AI has learned human hate. Like it does become prejudice to people, and it kind of learns to be sexist because of like the information we're inputting it. Because AI is learning, so it learns how to be a hateful son of a bitch. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, like in the wrong hands, with enough AI learning, things will just be fun, like a fucking Nazi.
Well, so the arc from 01 is real.
Kind of like we're heading to that point, and we're like, I'm like, listen, I'm fine with like, you want to make a cyber hand, all right?
I don't like the hand doesn't have like separate intelligence.
Exactly, like I'm fine with cybernetics. Once we get to actual robots, I'm like, I don't think we need robots. Sci-fi has proven robots really don't. They're cool. I love robots. I want a robot buddy, but at the same time, I think a robot buddy needs to have the same intelligence as my bird. Once it exceeds that and going back, the reason why I wanted robots to be shaped like cubes or dogs, so humans can't relate to it, because then you're going to get some hippie person be like, the robot has rights, and then it's going to cause a huge dispute. And it's like, as long as we make it,
but like animals have rights as well.
Yeah, but it's a robot dog.
Okay. Well then what about apes then? Like Planet of the Apes, like they get human intelligence and they start taking over.
See, we can't coexist with them though. That's what this all boils. We can't coexist with another sentient race.
So there has to be one master race, is what you're saying.
Essentially, which I'm not sure if that's something that can get me canceled or not. But listen, I would love if we could get along. I mean, yeah, robots I'd go beat the shit out of. If sentient apes became a thing, I would want to be their friend and understand them. But I honestly think it would be really hard to coexist. Zenkaiger was like the humanity's best like example of this, because like when the Kikonoids come into the human realm, we kind of just get along with them pretty fast and then integrate with their society extremely fast. That's like best case tokusatsu scenario. Real life, I don't see that happening. Unless we like find another planet. It's like, you could have this fucked up planet, you could have the sloppy seconds, we have the new sexy planet that we're going to go fuck up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Then even in Monster Musume, because they said the government knew but just kept it hidden for years.
It kept it hidden because we couldn't coexist, and they're kind of like, hey, you know what? Listen, we could have them live together with us to integrate with us, but don't fuck them. But then like the main character is lucky. It's like, listen, okay, you can fuck one of them.
Yeah.
But see, that's fine. And I wouldn't mind that if it was in my shoes. But my lineage might be cause the downfall of humanity. Unless by me integrating with them and my bloodline continues and this becomes normalized, we have created a better human race, because humans are now extinct and we've created this new species.
New, like, whatever hybrid, like, but like, no, you would have multiple hybrid species, because you'd have like, to be fair, I don't know, because like they already
all
had
a human ancestor, but even the monster people obey human laws, and they're kind of like, I love how we brought a stupid ecchi series into this conversation.
Because the world building is so detailed in Monster Musume.
Okay, see, that's the thing. Okay, so I remember you outed me as a fan of the series in front of our friends in university.
I liked it too. I
know. We both like it. Yeah, okay, yeah. But like to an outsider, it's like the last series you want to be interacting with, because they're like, "Oh, you're some kind of weirdo. You're a furry." It's like, you're not a furry because they're not. Anyways, remember that whole conversation where our friends was like, "Oh, Monster Girl furry," and he did that for like a whole day, and it was very annoying.
True.
And I had to go private my videos, because everyone wants to check out my channel if they can see something cringy. But like when I have an actual video with meeting, trying to get them into a iconic franchise, now skip that. He's not being cringe and thirsty on me. Anyways, that's a little blast from the past. God.
Yeah, that's a blast from that. Actually did happen. Yeah, I was like, because I don't know how we got there, but I was like, I outed Shaheen as a Monster Musume fan, same like me, and then they're like, "Oh, so furry?" I'm like, not technically, because I mean there is like a dog, but like it's
that
like
one I would want to be friends with, but I'm not sticking anything in there.
But the half human, half snake lady though.
There we go.
There we go.
As long as there's like a very strong human top half, it's good to go. It's like Sue is kind of like the slime one. I'm like, that's questionable.
I don't think it has genitals. Like, it's just a slime ball. Like, it's just a. I mean, it can.
It can form one.
Yeah, they can form one. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Which to some people, that's just like, yeah. But I'm like, I don't like the thought of like sticking my dick in Jello. I don't know. Essentially, that's what it is.
Yes, true.
I mean, I've seen some fantasy series kind of dive into like the true anatomy of a slime. Apparently, there are parts of their body that like, brain and heart and shit like that, and everything else.
Oh yeah, because like jellyfish have that stuff.
Exactly. So, like the a manga I'm reading, Delicious Dungeon, the whole concept is a group, like a adventurers party goes through a dungeon, but they're poor, so they have to like eat the monsters they encounter in the dungeon since they don't have enough money for like to bring in food. And they have to go really deep into the dungeon because they have to save one of their party members, so they can't keep on going back and forth. So they go really in depth with eating all the monsters to the point they come up with recipes that they go step by step with, which is hilarious because half the ingredients are not real. It's like, oh yeah, to make this you need like 3 pounds of basilisk meat, chopped up fawn.
So
and
it's
stuff
like so it's like Breath of the Wild. Like you just get all these recipes together, and then you like.
So apparently, in that one, slime, they cook slime and everything. It's like there's parts of a slime that are like not slime that you can eat or boil down. So yeah, so I guess there's aspects. Oh, we're really going. This is probably the most interesting podcast we've had. Our original plan. I was just going to talk about stuff that happened in Anime Expo, and we're already 30 minutes in.
Just so you know, before this, we were discussing Toy Story lore. Before this.
Yeah, we're going to get into that, which is probably this is all like a lead up into that. So, anyways, we'll quickly go through Anime Expo. I didn't go, unfortunately, but hopefully next year.
Oh, you actually want to go?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, the past years they've had shit I want to see. This one, not. Well, actually, no. There was something I did want to see, but like every other year, it was either like a Lupin screening or the Ultraman live show, or some. This one, like my favorite VTuber was there. But I do want to go to Anime Expo because like most of the conventions I've been to are like smaller scale. I haven't been like to the big ones where like official press releases are announced and shit like that. Like I haven't been to one of those yet. Next year, because the only reason why I didn't go is because a couple months ago I started a new job, so I didn't have paid time off yet. So I'm like, Anime Expo is during a weekend and it's in another state, so like I wasn't going to go through all that hassle for just one day and then rush back home when I had work the next day. Want to make it like an event. So I definitely want to go to Anime Expo, but there was a couple interesting pieces of news that came out. The manga I just mentioned, Delicious Dungeon, is getting an anime by Trigger, which should be fun. It's going to be airing on Netflix. Undead Unluck, which is a pretty promising Shonen Jump title, is finally going to be getting an anime.
By Toei, I'm assuming?
No, it's going to be coming out. No, it's David Productions, who did Fire Force and JoJo.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's going to be coming out on Hulu, which I'm like, damn it. I don't like when anime comes out on Hulu.
Which for me as a Canadian means Disney Plus.
Yes. I don't have either right now, so I'm subscribed to Crunchyroll and High Dive. Like, just release anime on the anime websites.
Yeah. I mean, thank God. What did Amazon have before? Anime Strike. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that died, and like a lot of those went to Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Amazon Prime doesn't really have many like exclusive anime. I don't think it does. I
always forget I have like even Prime Reading. I found out I get because I'm a Prime member, so I can read certain comic books, but it's not Comixology.
It's unlimited. Yeah.
That's still a separate service. Which at this point, I'm like, just make it part of Prime Reading. I don't know why we're.
Anyways, moving on. That's a separate.
Yeah. So then, Panty and Stocking is getting a season 2.
I still need to finish season 1. I remember seeing it as a kid, like a few episodes, but like I never finished it. I think we should like watch it in dub, right? So like, yeah.
I've had more fun with the dub, even though I'm kind of interested in how the dub's going to go going forward. If we're going to get all the same voice actors, because some of them I haven't really heard do many roles lately, but it's their iconic roles. So I don't know. We'll see.
Is it like the same creative team? Was it Gainax or Trigger?
It was Gainax, but then the people that went to go make Trigger were like Hirokyu and Maishi. Gurren Lagann and all that. I think they even got the rights for Gurren Lagann because I think they're going to be re-releasing a Gurren Lagann movie, but it's going to be under the Trigger banner.
Okay, then what is Gainax at this point then?
They're just still around. I don't know. Pachinko machine. I honestly I don't know.
Why is it always pachinko machines?
Because you can make a lot of money.
Like was it Konami also was like making just pachinko machines? Garo as well. Like I took like adults because they just make pachinko machines. And I'm like, what is this? Why this always? God,
because it makes money and it's
easy. I know, but like it's like the lamest thing ever.
I know. Oh, and trust me, especially for it's like an old classic series and they give it like new animation.
Yeah. Oh, it's for
like
a pachinko machine.
Yeah, it's for a pachinko. Oh, dude, like before they announced that Kiniko Man new anime, any time you saw a new piece of Kiniko Man animation, it was either like a commercial or a pachinko. And the thing with the pachinko, it will have scenes from the manga. It's like, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, at first I was trying to think, I'm like, is pachinko like a weird Patreon? It's like, if enough people gamble on it, they'll make a new anime. It's not how it works.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought like, okay, they're like, it's another merchandising like opportunity, and then they'll get.
It kind of is like it attributes to it, but it's not like Garo has a pachinko machine too, which I'm like, okay, like get new Garo seeds. Anyways, so I'm just curious of panty and stocking because like I'm wondering if they could capture that atmosphere again.
Yeah, that's because it's so many years removed. If it has the same people.
And then also, like, I don't meet, like...
Okay, a different industry, but, like, similar. Do you think, Young Justice still has the same, like feel and vibe as the old season? Like, the new season captures whatever you... Like, do you think it is?
Like, yes and no, because, like, the new seasons that aired on, like, Max, they're basically just Justice League shows at that point. It's like so they're no longer Young Justice. It's like it's the whole DC universe is involved.
Yeah.
It's like a different thing. But see, with Panty and Stocking, it's just like I don't know, that kind of humor we don't really have anymore. Or it's like heavily frowned upon. So like I'm wondering how that's going to be. Like it's Trigger. They're pretty. Well, see, I don't know. I feel like they've been kind of playing it safe lately because, like, in the beginning, Trigger was all like, "Yeah, we're just going to be new original ideas," but their most popular anime at the moment are all like adaptations.
What are they? Because like, the last big thing I remember was Promare, which I haven't seen yet. Which see,
Promare I felt was like playing it too safe to the point where like I know a lot of people enjoyed it, but like I walked out of it. I'm like, I've seen this duo of Hiroyuki Imaishi and Nakashima. I've seen them do this already.
Oh,
like, Gurren Lagann and all that, and like Kill la Kill. Like I've seen them do this. Like this is nothing that new besides it, experimenting with like 3D animation.
What about Little Witch Academia?
That was like popular. I'm not sure if it was because of Netflix. It just didn't get the cultural impact it deserved.
Yeah. Because like it was like holding it back because it just like it was like, oh no, we're going to release episodes in batches or whatever.
Yeah. It didn't really do itself any favors. But see, like the more popular Trigger shows have been like Gridman, which is an adaptation of a tokusatsu property, and then what was the other one that they did that was like an adaptation? It's escaping my mind. But there's that, and then Delicious Dungeon, which I know is going to do well because the manga is really good, and they did like a commercial for the manga, but it was animated by them, and everyone loved that. So I'm just worried Trigger is just going to become like an adaptation machine. So it's kind of good to see Panty and Stocking, but I'm not sure if it's going to have the same like bite to it that it had. Oh, absolutely! Yeah, now I remember. Cyberpunk was one of their biggest animes.
Oh, right.
Again, an adaptation of a game. So, but like a lot of newer studios like set out to be original in-house stuff, and then they turn into adaptation. Like look at Mappa. I don't think Mappa's done anything original like in a while. They're just adaptation overloads.
Yeah, true. It's sad. That seems to happen quite because like Pixar is not like even with Pixar in the West, it's like it started off just making original, then it fell into this era where it's like we're just going to make sequels to our original shit, nothing new. Now it's coming back to making original shit, and I hope it keeps that way. Although, like, I don't know, Elemental lost money, Lightyear lost money, so like I don't know if it's gonna keep doing that. But I hope, like, I don't like these animation studios, like once they get momentum, keep holding it and continue to make like original,
because like when Trigger had a panel Anime Expo, I was hoping for the next big like original Trigger, thing. But no, we just got a celebration for Gurren Lagann. Panty Stocking's coming back for season 2, which is also like I feel kind of ruins the like a joke.
What joke?
Because like back in the day, there was a meme that Guy Next couldn't end anime properly, and the way Panty and Stocking ends, there's like this big like plot twist,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just ends. You haven't finished it, so I'm not going to give it away.
Okay.
But it ends in an absolutely crazy way. It's just like, what? And it's like, oh, season 2? Question mark. And it just never happens. But like, it was kind of part of the joke.
Okay.
And now it's like, no, it's actually coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how they're going to undo that.
Do you think this will open up and like we'll get like, I don't know, Kill la Kill 2, Little Witch Academia 2?
The thing I really want, because it was slightly promised to me, but I'm not sure where we're going with it, is I thought we were legit going to get the Triggerverse. Because because when Little Witch Academia ends, the main character Akko hands it off to Trigger-chan.
Yeah, Trigger-chan. Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
one of the 3 mascot characters of Studio Trigger. Trigger-chan then gets like their own origin story anime in Space Patrol Luluco, which also kind of has connections to other Trigger anime. Like there's a Kill la Kill episode,
and there's also that what's that cop, Inferno Cop?
Yeah, Inferno Cop, and then also a short that Imaishi did called like Sex and Violence at Mach Speed. It crosses over with that too. And then so like for the longest time, because like there's 2 other girls, I forgot one. I think it was like Frag and Muzzle or something like that. I'm like, okay, are those 2 going to get like a little anime? Never happened. So I'm like still kind of waiting for that. And also apparently in the Gridman anime, I think his name was Alexis, but like the stand-in for Khan Digifer, the original villain from the Gridman Toku, apparently, according to a Trigger art book, he is like Inferno Cop who just got tired of justice and after years and years just became a bad guy.
Huh. Okay.
Which that's revealed in an art book. It's never mentioned in the anime.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just like, okay, so there's this Trigger universe happening. Are we going to follow it up with anything? And then we got BNA, Brand New Animal, that just kind of came and went.
What the fuck is Brand New Animal? I haven't heard.
It was a Netflix. I think it was also because it was a Netflix series, but it was like also it wasn't that good, but it was a Trigger original series that like there's animal people and they have their own city and full of crime. And
I've seen like like on Netflix I've seen it, but like I haven't like not watched it. Yeah, okay.
It has its moments, but like story wise could have really done a lot more of the concept and but great character designs and all that. I love the Trigger style and great colors.
The Trigger, of course. Yeah.
It's a fun series to look at. But yeah, so like I'm just wondering where we're going, especially now that we're doing all these adaptations. I'm like, okay, so Trigger Chan's not going to go there. I'm not going to see her pop up in Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we're not going to see that. Or like Gridman is also Dungeon. Technically an adaptation. Or Dungeon. Yeah, true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm glad because like they look like they'll do a good job with Delicious Dungeon, and I think that's a good. I don't know. I feel like fantasy is really coming back. Like proper fantasy is coming back to anime because we have Delicious Dungeon, then we also got like World End or Adventures End Freyren, which was a great fantasy series, and then we also got Witch Hat Atelier. All of those are getting anime either sometime this year or early next year. And those are all
these are all like manga.
Yeah, they're all manga. They've all won awards. Great series. Really pure fantasy, none of that,
isekai
RPG bullshit. No isekai. It's all in an original fantasy world.
Nice. I think we're finally getting back to that.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, we're back, baby. No stat upgrades. Like, oh, my stats.
No goes to another world, or though is there? That could still be like a straight up fantasy.
At least I slightly don't mind that. I always just hate it. Like isekai is just like, yeah, I got to be a video game isekai.
Yeah.
I gotta like choose my unique skills and everything. I mean, like, not that I mind those. Like, I enjoyed for the most part, the slime isekai. I do like Mushoku Tensei, even though some parts of that anime just hitting that fast forward button.
Yeah. So okay, that's good. That's good. We're getting like these are mangas I've never heard of. So like that's
I'm
really
going to be making a video soon, but I'm hoping I do it before the animes come out.
okay.
Because I'm talking about like that video I was planning on talking about like 6 different manga. Of the 6, 5 of them are getting anime announcements. One of them just occurred last week. I'm like, come on! Which I'm hoping that means this video is going to do amazing, but I don't think so. So, and now it's going to look like I'm just jumping in on the hype train. No, I've been reading this for like a year. This is like fuck. Anyways,
it amazes me how you, even in comic books, you somehow find like the most obscure shit that like.
These have been like talked about. See, I follow a lot of like people that talk about manga. So,
okay.
If you're in like certain manga circles, like Delicious Dungeon, which had Atelier and World End Freyren or Adventures. What?
Oh, wait,
let me go on the.
World End Freyren is the one where it's like an elf who's lived longer than everybody else.
Yeah, she outlived her party and she has to go on an adventure. Let me go on the Viz app. What is the actual title? Oh, Freyren Beyond Journey's End.
Freyren Beyond Journey's End. Oh, it's on Shonen Jump?
It's on the Viz app.
Oh, it's on the Viz app. Okay.
Yeah, you can read the series in full there. All those fantastic fantasy series. But so we're coming back to fantasy, but going back to Anime Expo, also we got some more fantasy news, but in the isekai variety, Suicide Squad is getting an isekai anime.
But I was so confused when that was announced.
See, Warner did tease that they're going to team up with Studio Wit, which is a great studio.
They did ReZero, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or was that White Fox?
That I'm not sure, but Wit did the first season of Attack on Titan. They did Ranking of the Kings. Trying to think what else they did.
Yeah, because I was like trying to figure out like, wait, what did they do? I can't remember exactly.
Because I know like the first couple seasons of Attack on Titan, that's what like really put them on the map. Because of course everyone.
They did Vinland Saga.
Yeah, there we go. Vinland Saga,
Spy Family.
Right. So see, I think Spy Family was a group effort, though. I think they worked with like A1 Productions with that one.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. But like Vinland Saga is there. Like, okay, fine. Yeah.
Great Pretender. That was another one they worked on.
Oh, they did Great Pretender. Oh, yeah, Great Pretender.
Okay. So now Suicide Squad Isekai. Which
I have number one. Okay, I have a lot of things to say as the comic book guy on this show. One, why Suicide Squad? Why is Harley, like, do we need to see Harley Quinn and Joker fight a slime? I don't know. In fact, even say Suicide Squad is quite, but we only see Harley Quinn and Joker. We don't see Deadshot. We don't see like Captain Killer. I've read the comics, so I know other members. Captain Boomerang's not there. Bronze Tiger's not there. So it's like it's just them. So like, where's everybody else? Okay. So that's number one. Number two, they call it Isekai. Like that's the title, Suicide Squad Isekai.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's just the working title and it gets a proper title.
It's not like Suicide Squad in another world. Even Isekai like series, they don't just put Isekai in the title. They're like something in another world. So like this was just Isekai. I'm like, okay, but like, then you're just banking on like, because how will like a regular average Joe like comic book guy who's like doesn't read or consume anime and manga, would he know what an isekai is? Like I know within anime and manga community it's like a term, but like outside of that, is it? I don't think so. Like
I see. I don't know who exactly it's being made for. Because like I remember way back,
I didn't ask for this. Who asked for this? Who was asking? Like, man, you know what? I really need to see Harley Quinn fight a slime.
And especially like in the world of the DC universe, it's not that hard for that to happen.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, there's magic everywhere. So like,
there is magic. There's dragons. There's all sorts of shit. There's demons, aliens. Harley Quinn could fight whatever. It's not going to be like, oh, this only can happen in an isekai world.
Harley Quinn shouldn't fight everything. She needs to fight something street level because that's what she is.
But like,
yeah, that's what she is. But like, I don't know. I don't like this. Like, I know he's not a popular character, but like, why couldn't you? But like, it makes more sense. Like, you couldn't put Dr. Fate into this or something. Like,
See, because I remember when the news came out that they were going to be doing like, because they did mention in the beginning before they made the official announcement. It's like, oh hey, Studio Way is going to do an isekai anime starring characters from a Warner property. Now, of course, it had to be a superhero because it's not like we're going to get Bugs Bunny isekai or Gremlins isekai. Like,
I would be more interested in that because that would be just straight up comedy. So I wanted to see what jokes they would make.
True, I guess, but like, it wasn't going to happen where Bugs gets sent to another world and is the legendary hero. And
I mean, technically, Space Jam is an isekai.
There you go. So the plan it was already done. They couldn't do it. Maybe he was the original choice. It's like, well, Space Jam happened. That was an isekai. It's not going.
He goes from the real world to the cartoon world.
Yeah, he's been there, done that.
Yeah.
So then everyone was like, okay, so it's probably going to be a DC superhero because that makes the most sense. Batman has already had his outing, so it'd be kind of boring for Batman.
Yeah, but if they did it, it wouldn't surprise me because Batman sells. So like,
well, yeah, sure. But we already got Batman Ninja. So if you want to really surprise everyone, you got like Superman, or maybe just bring the whole damn Justice League in.
I would have loved to seen Shazam isekai because like he's got magical powers. It'll be magic related.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and like him fighting like, let's say, a dragon, okay, which we got in the movie surprisingly, but like, I don't know, but like seeing it in animated form, I'm pretty sure it'll be like 100 times better and stuff. So like that would be cool to see. And then like, what would the isekai world's response be? Because they have like wizards and like knights and stuff. But like, what if they came up against a straight up superhero? Like, what would that be like? So but like, okay, we're gonna do Suicide Squad, sure. Yeah,
I'm hoping with time we get to see more because I'm like, it's the Suicide Squad. I don't think Joker is ever a part of the Suicide Squad.
No, he's not. Okay, so the movies do this a lot, and I don't know why, where they take a name of something, but they put it and they change it. Like, for example, the Birds of Prey movie, that's not the Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn is never part of the Birds of Prey. It's a superhero, it's a female superhero team. So you've got like Batgirl or Oracle, Catwoman. Oh, Catwoman was there too. But like Catwoman's like, it has been established as an anti-hero, so fine. Black Canary, Huntress, those, and like Harley Quinn's not in it. Like, she's okay, Suicide Squad, yeah, she's in it. Like, ever since like New 52, she's been part of the Suicide Squad. And then like, Joker's like there as like a villain or like somebody, like it's like he doesn't really come up, honestly. Like, he's just like either a villain or it's like, it's by that, by this point Joker and Harley Quinn have separated, so like, who gives a shit? Yeah, I mean, the Assault on Arkham movie did it best. I still remember like Joker breaks out of his jail. He's like, "I'm como estas, bitches." Yeah, so he's separate. It's like Suicide's one entity, Joker's an entity all by himself because he's the Joker. Yeah, but like I said, like, these are the people who are normally on a Suicide Squad like team. Like, okay, Harley Quinn ever since like 2011, Captain Boomerang. I guess like now Peacemaker, like Deadshot, Bronze Tiger, like all of these guys, but like they're not in it. So like, okay, like in the trailer at least. I don't know in the actual show.
It could be that the trailer we're just going to show off two of the more iconic characters that everyone will recognize.
Yeah, but I don't. Okay, fine.
Because both movies weren't that much of a smash hit to make all of them like a household name.
But like, the fact you're naming it Suicide Squad Isekai and not Harley Quinn Isekai, like, I was expecting like okay, there has to be a team. If it's just her and Joker, I'm going to be pissed off.
Yeah, and that's not really much of a squad.
Yeah, it's not.
That's the Suicide Duo.
Not even okay, I guess it's not. Suicide Squad is Task Force X. Like Task Force X. There we go.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be like the secret government thing that they're forcing these criminals to do.
Yeah, and like, Joker's never working for the government.
Oh no, he's way too crazy. Yeah. Ugh.
So yeah, I don't know. The character designs are great. I
Yeah, the
like
animation
that.
looked good. The character designs
And it
looked
was
good.
Akira Amano who did the designs, creator of Hitman Reborn, and the character designer for Psychopath. So she has a really great style.
Mhm.
So yeah, I am interested. It does, and Studio Wit is a great studio, so I'm sure it's fun. I'm not sure if this is a TV series or movie. I'm assuming it's going to be a movie because normally this kind of stuff doesn't get like a series. Because Batman Ninja was just a movie. Um, I
Yeah.
don't know. It'll
Although
be
Batman
interesting.
Ninja went way too anime for like it's giant robot. A lot of things. Goddamn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed Batman Ninja. I think part of that was this that
How crazy it just like how insane it is.
also like how I watched it. I watched it with a bunch of friends.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Were you there that day when we watched
I
it?
don't know. I think I saw it separately, but then I talked to you guys about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I remember we went to one of our friends' house and we all ordered food and we just sat back and watched the movie.
Yeah, Batman goes undercover with like a bat symbol shaved into his head, which like
that
what the
was
fuck?
so stupid. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You idiot.
That movie was insane. I don't know if people liked it. I don't think they did.
I don't know. I'm not sure if everyone's mellowed out. I feel like people were like pretty okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a script writer that did Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill and Kamen Rider Forze. So
Oh, okay. No wonder it was that crazy. All right.
yeah, it's just that's Kazuki Nakashima. So yeah, he's
Oh no, I was about to. I wouldn't know. I was thinking about Gen Urobuchi. I'm like, no, that's Gaim and like.
yeah.
Black
No,
Lagoon.
Urobuchi.
Yeah.
No, if he did it, everyone would have died at the end.
Yeah.
No, that would have been a totally different movie. Gen Urobuchi could do a Punisher.
Honestly, he could. Definitely could. He would have to like tone down, like, hey, keep this as street level as possible. He's done Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon was pretty street level, except for that like one crazy robot maid lady. But like, yeah.
I mean, that was an anime, so like it was adapting an actual manga. So
yeah,
maybe
that would
that
be
was
interesting. Gen Urobuchi's Punisher. Yes.
Because like I think there's a lot of crossover and anime potential. It just doesn't seem to be as finally worked out.
Okay. So when it was announced that they're rebooting the DCU, the DC movie universe, I was like, please go animation, please go animation, please go animation. They won't, because Hollywood doesn't give a shit about animation.
Cowards.
But I was like, really, like, man, like, why not? Like, Warner Brothers has its own animation department, and they have like history with animation. Like, they were the one studio that could rival Disney for the longest time. Their animated movies on DVD are pretty good. Like, they're much better than what Disney produces, even though Disney's supposed to be the number one animation, like, place, like, studio in the world. They still do 2D, which I appreciate. It's not just like all 3D. And then I was like, really like, man, what if they just gave it to like, fine, you can control the story because like I don't like, if you give Spider-Man to like, I don't know, Trigger, I don't want Spider-Man. I want no, give me Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Don't make your own weird Japanese version with a giant robot, please. Yeah.
I mean, like with Toy Spider-Man, like it has its time and place. I don't know, because like
the emissary from hell, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really know. I need to really go back and give, because like the theme song for that really captures what Spider-Man's about amazingly, despite it having an opening.
Really?
Yeah, if you actually listen to the lyrics, it captures like how hard it is to be Spider-Man, but how important it is to be Spider-Man.
But giant robot emissary from hell, where did that work?
Man, that show had such a cultural impact on like Super Sentai. Fuck it, let him have the robot. And Stan Lee loved it. He's like,
yeah, I was surprised that Stan Lee loved it. I mean,
dude, we live in an alternate universe where we could have had like a Toei Marvel crossover proper.
Oh yeah, because like Son Vulcan wanted to be like, because Stan Lee
that was technically under Marvel for a bit. That was a Marvel produced thing.
Because like, it also like it's funny to me because like fans would hate it, but like weirdly enough, Stan Lee loved it. Like, I do your own thing. I don't give a shit.
He was just like, yeah, I love the way Spider-Man moves. He moves like an actual spider. Stan Lee understood things. But yeah, so like he was so close to bringing over Power Rangers, but like,
yeah, but then Saban, that guy, he brought it. I don't know if that's worse or better.
The reason why Stan Lee just wanted to dub over it, I think. Where Saban's like, no, okay, listen, I'm just going to Frankenstein the shit out of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, we can't just see Japanese people speak English. It's like, no, bring a couple white guys in there. It's like, okay. Anyways, I mean, Power Rangers still went on to become its own phenomenon and still introduced people to Tokusatsu, so it still has its place.
Which reminds me, I don't know if you're following it. Did Hasbro say they're going to stop adapting Sentai? They're going to make their own thing because they really.
I've heard mixed things. I don't really follow Power Rangers, so I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I think they said they wanted to,
because I really want them to go I don't know what, but. I don't know what like legal shit is there, but I'm pretty sure like they're two separate entities at this point. And so like Hasbro can do its own thing. I mean, the Power Rangers movie in 2016, 17, whatever, is like its own thing. So like I don't know, just go like stop like I said, Frankensteining Sentai. Like just do your own thing. Like give me an authentic like what would Power Rangers wholly built up from the ground like by yourself look like, and make an animation. Or like, fine, I'll take live action because it's like the franchise is true. But like, I'll really be interested in animation though. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably be able to do that, but at the same time, like, I'm pretty sure they'll go the live action route, which is fine. If you could.
Yeah, like because that's what the franchise is known for. But like, it'd be really cool to see it in animation. Just saying.
Hey, I think that'll be like a one project. But I don't think they'll fully like gear shift into just being animation going forward. That would be a little too weird.
I don't know, just make a series. Like I don't know, get Netflix to pay for it because apparently that's where animation goes now. I don't know why, but like sure.
Which is weird because it's very unlikely most of the shit comes back with a season 2.
Yeah, surprisingly, unless it's like shitty DreamWorks stuff. Because it's cheap, I guess. Maybe that's why.
That's true. Because I remember, like, I was trying to keep up to date, which I guess thankfully I didn't because I heard both shows kind of tanked.
Mm-hmm.
But like, She-Ra and what was the other one?
Voltron.
Yeah, I remember I was trying to keep up to date with those because those were like also like a DreamWorks series. Or actually, I'm not sure about She-Ra. I don't think she was.
No, She-Ra was. She-Ra was.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
it has the DreamWorks logo on it. Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Yeah. So
I'm not sure about She-Ra, but Voltron I've heard technically like towards the end it got really bad and like everybody hated the ending. Like haters of the show hated the ending, and then like lovers of the show hated the ending. So like
apparently the fandom was just it was not a friendly place to be in.
Which is weird because apparently for the longest time it was like, oh my god, this is the best show ever.
Yeah, like I mean, I was alright with the season I saw. I wasn't like that blown away with it, but I don't know, man. There's certain things where I'm like, it's just weird the Voltron's still a thing because I think Voltron is way more popular than the anime is actually based on. Voltron is basically in Japan. It's a series called Go Lion.
Yeah, okay. I
and then, like, when it came over, it got called Voltron, and kind of like with Macross and Robotech, it just turned into its own entity.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Which is weird because I'm wondering because, like, obviously it's on Netflix. It probably has a Japanese dub. Not that
I think is it on Tubi? I think. Or maybe it's just another giant robot show that I just saw.
Probably, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's gotten licensed since like Go Lion, but I can't really imagine. Like, I'm wondering how it is in Japan when like Voltron pops up. It's like, oh, Go Lion. It's like they're calling it Voltron. What the fuck?
I mean, how did they react about Power Rangers?
They did do a Japanese dub for Power Rangers, so
which is so weird. Like it's like, let's like you have the original show, and then you have the Frankenstein version that you bring back to and you dub over, which is like, okay.
That is interesting. I really wonder what the consensus on Japanese fans are. Like, if there's like some that are like, oh yeah, this is better than Super Ranger.
uh,
Those Americans really know what they're doing. I don't know. It's like I'm curious on where we're gonna like how that goes, or
I wonder if they
if they're
even
still
know.
dubbing it.
Do they even know though? Maybe
What?
they're just they maybe they don't. Are they even aware of Power Rangers' existence? Or I don't think they should.
I mean, if they're
be.
dubbing it, yeah, they know.
Yeah, they know. They know. Okay,
They
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I mean, it's a worldwide phenomenon. I'm pretty sure, like, because like there's a lot of toku actors that come, to like smaller tokusatsu conventions in America.
Mhm.
Forgot that their names are escaping me, but I know there's some in California, and I'm pretty sure that they'll see like a cosplay, like, oh, Sentai. It's like, no, Power Rangers, and they're probably like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure they have to be in the know, especially when like certain seasons are like get adapted to Power Rangers. They're like, oh wait, it came over to America, but they don't see me, they see some other guy. Interesting.
Yeah. Also, it'd be really. I would really love to sit down with like a hardcore Power Rangers fan, and he's like, "Oh, you like Power Rangers?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I technically like Sentai. I don't know, like, what conversation can we have? Like, can we even find common ground, or would he see me as a snob? Like, oh, you're there."
I've seen it gone both ways. I've seen like Power Ranger elitists. I've seen Sentai elitists. I've seen people that are split down the middle.
Which I don't. Those guys, I'm like, how do you find the time to watch both shows? Like, especially with like when they have the same footage, and I know Power Rangers can have completely different plots at times, but like same footage syndrome and stuff like that. Like
see, it just bothers me knowing that like the footage is not really theirs. So then I'm just kind of like, I could just watch the original.
Then how do you feel about when there's like an original scene?
I see, like in the earlier seasons that didn't happen. I think maybe, I don't know, I could try
Disney,
watching like a newer,
when
like
Disney got it, I think they did a lot, like quite a bit. Yeah,
that I'm curious on, or maybe I should watch a Power Ranger series where I've already watched the Sentai. Version.
Yeah, you do it backwards because normally it's like you've seen Power Rangers first, then you watch the Sentai. But yeah, you could do it.
Like that's what usually bothers me. It's like, I know this is not your footage, and I haven't watched this show. Like, I know what you are, Power Rangers. I know what you are.
So,
you can't fool me.
You chameleon fucking show.
Yeah, you fucking bastard. But yeah, that was most of the Anime Expo news. I mean, there's probably other things that either I'm not that big of a fan of or don't really care. So I'm trying to think if there actually was any other announcements. I mean, there was a couple mangas getting adapted, but I can't really remember some of them on the top of my head. But yeah, that was Anime Expo. Plus, by the time this video comes out, Anime Expo is like way.
Yeah, it's way too old.
It's probably been like a month or so since Anime Expo actually happened. Also, I do want to give a quick shout out to two shows I just watched that will probably still be airing when this podcast comes out, but I just watched the first 2 episodes for them, and that is for My Adventures with Superman and Ultraman Blazar, which I think are great that they are coming out around the same time, considering that in a previous podcast I basically said Superman is like an Ultraman. They're both these great, powerful aliens from distant planets that just really love humanity and see the best in it.
Wait, Blazar has 2 episodes out or 1?
Just 1.
Oh, just 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I guess with My Adventure with Superman, we got 2 episodes, but they're
because it's like a 2-part pilot, right?
Yes. So that show, fantastic. I really, for My Adventures with Superman, I think the whole dynamic and relationship between Clark, Lois, and Jimmy is really cute and endearing. Can't wait to see more of that. The action's pretty fun. I just love seeing nice guy Superman, and in this one, he's an extremely good boy, which is the best. I saw somewhere that, like, I think it was on Twitter, someone that worked on the show, their part of the project notes was to make like Superman as cute and sexy as possible. They achieved that. Superman is the best boy. And then, I love what they done with Lois. It is quite the departure, but energetic tomboy Lois, great. They knew what they were doing, because this is probably going to get so many people into Superman through the show, because that's all the shipping people, all the people who do fan art. DC, someone at DC had a really good idea. Because if there's one way to make a franchise sustain itself, is to get those shippers. Fangirls, shippers, and fan artists, they could really take a franchise places. So
as someone who, for some reason, went down an animation rabbit hole this week, I've been watching a lot of animation YouTube. I did not know how big the How to Train Your Dragon fandom is and how many hardcore shippers that has. So yeah, like
dude, I'm telling you, shipper. I mean, I think even the creator of Gundam has said, like, the real, like, it's not the Gundam otaku that kept the series around. It was like the Fujoshis that were shipping Char and I'm forgetting his name. Amuro, yeah. Those were the real fans of Gundam. So even like for Kamen Rider, you know, it's like the kids, the people that ship people, and then like the moms. So like, you know, it's always that other, and like, you know, the Superman's handsome, he'll probably get a couple of I'm not sure about the moms, but you know, older women.
Yeah.
And then
and it also has a very soft kind of anime style to it.
Yeah, it's very anime. There is kind of like that transformation Superman does to get his costume. It's great. My only complaints with it, which a lot of people on Twitter are having the same complaints, and normally I'm kind of over the whole like, oh, this character design sucks, because that happens with any popular franchise. And as much as I'm loving what they're doing with the main trio, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the villains. They have Livewire and like Deathstroke, they made him into like an e-boy.
Yeah, so before we started the podcast, Shaheen showed me what they look like, because I haven't seen the show yet. I'm going to wait till all the episodes are out. Because knowing me, I'll watch the first 2 episodes, not watch the rest, and then forget, then like start from the beginning again.
Right.
So like, you know, I'll wait till all, I guess there's 6 episodes in total. I don't know.
I really hope not. I just hope that's like what we're seeing on the like online when they're doing like the episode list. That's just like what they have notes on, and there's still more episodes that haven't been released yet, but we'll see.
Deathstroke is not a grizzled old man with an eye patch or, you know, and stuff. He's like he said, an e-boy. He has, his hair covers one eye, and also like out of all the villains in a Superman show, you pick Deathstroke. Like,
also he's voiced by Chris Parnell, who is probably best known for voicing Jerry in Rick and Morty, and like he doesn't sound like he sounds like a younger Jerry trying to be sexy.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's bad. Again, this is purely going off the design. I don't know what he sounds like. Don't know how he interacts with people.
Well, the way he sounds like, it's Jerry from Rick and Morty, but like playing it off younger and sexy. Right. So
I would recommend go watch the Deathstroke animated movie by Jim DeMatteis. Those are pretty good.
Was that like fun. What was it called? Like Knights and Dragons or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Dragons and Knights, something like that.
I saw the first part of it. Because I don't know, this website I was on released it in parts. So yeah, I need to go back to that. But yeah, it's weird though. I found the most funny comment on Twitter the other day. It's like, the only good thing about this redesign is Deathstroke actually does look like someone that would groom a teenager.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Deathstroke in the Teen Titans comics, it's, some people say implied, some people say no, it's full on. He banged a 14-year-old like Teen Titan who's being a double agent for Deathstroke and betrayed the Teen Titans, and like so like some people regard Deathstroke as a pedophile, like a straight up pedophile. So like, yeah, like that was funny.
Yeah, that was the best comment. But yeah, so I'm curious what the rest of the villains would look like, or if we're even going to get Lex Luthor in here.
Because like Livewire looks nothing like the Livewire from the 90s Superman Aaron.
Almost did not know it was Livewire until the character pulled out electricity, and then like their armor, and like even then I wasn't making that connection. I'm like, oh, this is just a military person with lightning technology. But then like Deathstroke kind of pulls like a gear from the back of like her electric armor, and like it starts affecting her. I'm like, oh shit, this is supposed to be Livewire. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting take, especially considering that Livewire originally came from the first, well, not, I guess not first, but the Bruce was it Bruce Timm that did Superman the animated series?
I just call it the Bruce Timm verse because he was involved in pretty much every show. Yeah, the Bruce Timm verse. Yeah. Livar is one of those characters like Harley Quinn. She was created for the animated show, like completely original. Then has moved on and become like a comic book character later on. And so like, yeah, so like, and she has awesome design. Loved, I mean, because it's Bruce Timm, so it's like, yeah, it's gonna look good and sexy.
Yeah, you know, like sexy. I like how for most of that universe, besides everything that happens Batman Beyond, which I also finished this week and was fantastic.
Yeah.
Most of the original things are like sexy lady. Until we got to Batman Beyond, it's like, which also does have sexy ladies, but yeah, you know, then you got like Batman Beyond, who like I love Batman Beyond's costume, like
so good, so sleek, so simple, so minimalist, and like still like pops. I think like the red Batman logo, like I want a T-shirt of that.
And I love the wings too. Like,
oh yeah, the wings, yeah,
that's so cool. Especially like the shot of him with his hands in the air and the wings coming out. I'm like, oh, that's so iconic. It's fantastic. But then moving away from My Adventures with Superman, we have Ultraman Blazer, which Subaraya finally has made the very wise decision to stop shoving, you know, new generation shit into people's throats in order to be more open and accessible, despite, you know, Ultraman being probably one of the most accessible tokusatsu heroes you can find at the moment, because you pretty much have everything available to you. Especially on their YouTube channel, where you could watch the show for free. They decided to save all that new generation and crossover stuff. They were just going to put that on their specials, and they're going to focus on the TV shows being like new and starting from a fresh start. So for Blazer, you know, we have our military team. They're fighting new original kaijus, and then we get Blazer, who's, you know, not, you know, bogged down by like all this lore of the Land of Light, comes from a different world. Can't, at least as of now, and from understanding, I think that's going to be the whole goal with him, is that he can't communicate in English. He just grunts, which is a really cool concept. It kind of shows the point of, you know, Ultramen being these giants of light that could be cosmic horrors, but decide that they really love humanity and are just going to fight for it. So it just grunts, which unfortunately, at least in my opinion, maybe will grow on me. His grunts are not cool sounding. He just sounds like a little gremlin.
I haven't seen it, so I can't really say, but it is available on YouTube, like, because Ultraman, Subaraya actually has an official Ultraman YouTube channel, and they've made it a point to, like, because they want to reach as much of a global audience as possible. It's the one Toku studio that's like, no, the international audience matters. We need to, like, make sure you take them into account. And yeah, this was officially on YouTube. You can watch it right now. Like, go ahead.
And like it's great. I don't know why others don't do it, because like, since it's on the other YouTube channel, they could put their own ads into it. So everything, it's like, yeah, here's the Subaraya convention, which I think is really cool. And I was like thinking, like, I get it.
There's a Subaraya convention?
Oh, yeah, there's God. Like, I think it's called like Ultraman Believe or something like that. There's this big convention that they have like all these stage shows, and you can take pictures of all the Ultramen and all that. And like, I think they might announce like news in there. They always advertise it. But I'm like, I get that we have Comic-Con, but that's more general. Yeah, over the years, Comic-Con does have like anime stuff in it.
There is like, what do you call, like BotCon for Transformers. There's also RangerCon for like Power Rangers.
Oh, and G-Fest for Godzilla.
Oh, there is? I didn't know there was a Godzilla one.
Yeah, there's G-Fest. Even though like nowadays it's more like kaiju focused, but you know, Godzilla is the main.
Godzilla is the main, yeah. So there we do have some, but again, they're very small, very niche. They're not like, you know, I guess BronyCon.
That too. But see, there's not like a BatCon or SpiderCon.
Yeah. There's nothing like that. Yeah, it's always going to be like.
It feels like a waste. I feel like those characters could definitely support. You know, wouldn't it be cool? Like, obviously, you're not going to get all the actors together, but you can at least get people in those suits on the stage and, you know, walking around and, I don't know, unleash some bat news, have the current comic writers come in and talk about stuff, or something like that.
Although, to be fair, like, you know, Batman, It is a franchise unto itself, but it's not like Ultraman where it's like, oh, it's a generation upon generation upon generation thing. That's like, oh, we have like 100 Batman to like,
I guess we could
Yeah.
have like, I don't know, we could do like a live show with like Into the Batverse.
we're never getting live shows here. That's not something, I don't know, Western
Fucking
like.
lame.
We don't do
We
that.
technically do, because I remember going to fucking Universal Studios and they have the Waterworld live show, and like that was a failed movie.
Those are never like canon. It's just a reenactment in front of you of the movie.
It doesn't have to be a canon live show. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, this happened in the 616 universe.
Maybe that's what the 3D ride is for. Technically, I guess.
Yeah, but like I want to see a bunch of dudes in costumes like throwing shit at each other and some explosions. Give me like a tangible sense of danger.
Yeah. So that's
light a guy on fire.
So that's why it's 30 episodes, like 30 minutes, not just 20. They put ads in it. Okay.
Yeah, they put ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which
They're
is
not
genius.
YouTube
It's just
ads,
it's just all ads selling you an Ultraman. It's like, I'm already here, thank you, and like you get to see the toys that I can't buy. Well, actually, no. Like I probably can, but I'm not going to buy those toys. I'm a little too much of an adult. I buy figures.
Oh, it's already got 1.4 million views. That's good. Oh, it's both Japanese and English audios.
Yeah, and it's even dubbed.
Yeah, it's dubbed. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It's all in dub too.
Oh, damn! They're really going hard. I really wish Toei would like understand, like see, like, hey, this is how you're supposed to do it, which they don't.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't value tokusatsu as much as they do with anime. Because with anime, it's like, yeah, we're just gonna get this everywhere.
Yeah,
and like I get it, anime is much more lucrative, but it's like you're not even trying with your toku. Like you haven't really. Like I feel like everything we've gotten from Toei feels like an obligation. Like at least for Kamen Rider, it feels like besides Ryuki, having the first series from every generation of rider feels like an obligation. Like of course we're going to get the original Kamen Rider Kuga and 01, of course. But are they going to be streaming the newest series on a YouTube channel? No.
Yeah, and then recently, because I thought like, okay, Super Sentai, they seem to be moving along. Like we're getting like, shows consecutively, but then they stopped because like Deca Ranger, they only got the DVD release, but not a streaming release. And apparently, like you said, like they're never going to do a streaming release for it.
At least I think that's what I saw from Tokusatsu.
Yeah.
They said that there was no plans for streaming at the moment. Which like, why? If everything else has had a streaming release? Especially when this is like a fan favorite series.
Yeah, Deca Rangers, like I said, like for me, it's like it is probably my second favorite Sentai of all time after Shinkenger. So
yeah, so I don't know why they're gatekeeping us like that. And then I don't know, and like Toei has enough connections, I feel, from all their anime ventures that they could afford. Because like for some reason, Just Beyond is still on Crunchyroll. And like Crunchyroll did used to be the place where you could watch Ultraman streaming from like I think Orb all the way up to Gene. So you could still technically watch Toku on Crunchyroll.
No, they had Ginga and Ginga. That's where I've watched on Crunchyroll. They had from like basically everything New Generation. They had it on there,
right? So like it could always like Toei could be like, hey, you have my One Piece and all that. Why don't you take these boys and give us.
Yeah, because it's all the same company. So like, make a relationship with Crunchyroll. Like, hey, you're going to be our hub for like all of our products or something.
Because I get like they have everything on Tubi and Tokusatsu. See, that's like I don't feel like Toei's really invested in the right areas. Because Tokusatsu is just kind of there. And Team Kamen Rider, they make like their own original TV show with two hosts, and like one of them really doesn't know anything about Tokusatsu. He's trying to sell you on Tokusatsu.
Yeah.
Because I think it was from them that they tried moving along that like Ultraman was xenophobic.
Yeah, you told me that there was a big backlash because it's not. If you've ever seen like 5 minutes, I think
that was from like the official Toku podcast. I'm not sure if that was someone else, but if it was from them, that's terrible. Then you got the whole situation with Kamen Rider manga and comics. Besides the Seven Seas release, which thankfully was really good. The Kamen Rider Kuga manga is terrible. Like, the translation isn't that good. No one talks about it. The actual quality of that manga is bad. The pages are like super thin. Every time I get a volume, it's like bent. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm ordering it from Amazon. I've ordered so much manga from Amazon. I've never had that problem. And then, the Kamen Rider comics are just whatever.
I've read the 01 comic. It's very whatever. It's art is good. There's some mistakes in it. Like I was like speech bubbles in the wrong place or whatever. And the villain that is like, it starts off well, like, oh, this is pretty promising. But then like, because it's only 4 issues, you don't get time for things to build up. Everything gets rushed and it becomes like a very whatever, like comic. So I would not like, no, also it's not even a sequel to the show. It takes place early in Aruto's life. For 01, like Aruto being 01, like takes place early in his career. So it's like, okay, but I know what happens, like, because this villain never gets mentioned in the show, so he hasn't done anything significant. So I'm very confused, like, why they put it. Because like, if they do a sequel after the show, like, okay, anything can happen, because God knows we've never been in this time period before. But like, when it's early in 01's career, I know that, like, okay, this guy did nothing because nothing happened in the show to him. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's disheartening. And then I even heard, like, the art kind of traces over some of, like, the figure arts artwork. So I'm just like,
oh, really?
Poses. So I'm just like, great. I think that's one of the variant covers for the comic. It's just a bunch of the figure arts.
Oh, yeah. Just
I mean, like, who the fuck would want that?
It's a variant cover. God knows. Like, people have done variant covers of dumb shit. So
okay. Anyways, but yeah.
Would you want that, or like, I don't know, because like Dynamite for Vampirella does a lot of cosplay covers. So
at least I could see, like, oh, there's passion. It's not just a bunch of toys I can go look up at Amazon.
But they're posable. They're posed in like nice places, Yeah.
Those are like the default poses on the boxes, though. That's the problem. That was the main problem with that variant cover. That is the default pose.
I don't care about variant covers, so like whatever. But like, the story itself, it's like, like it's honestly not worth reading, to be honest. Like, if you
might still have to read it for like a video, but
just to mention it, yeah, I guess so. But like,
yeah, I'm not a big fan of just being like, yeah, I heard about this. Here it is in the video. But I actually want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a what. Like, I would be surprised if you get more than 2 sentences out of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Anyways, let's get into probably a more interesting topic, because Hamza, you're telling me earlier you went on like an animated movie binge and saw a whole bunch of things.
I don't know how it happened. I was just like scrolling through Disney Plus, and without even realizing it, I started watching a lot of animated movies that I haven't seen before, but were on my list. So, like, some of them, I'm pretty sure the audience is going to groan. Like, what? You saw that? The fuck? So I saw Lightyear. I saw Turning Red. I saw Onward. And a new one from Netflix, Nimona. And this is not related to, because those are, like, kids' animated movies, but I also saw Skull Island, the new, like, in-canon MonsterVerse show that's all about Skull Island, the island that Kong's from, and stuff. So I saw that, but like, yeah. So, before that, when I was like went on vacation in Dubai, back home, I saw Bad Guys, and I saw, what's the other one? Shit, I mentioned it to you. What is the other one? Bad Guys?
Puss in Boots?
Yeah, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, yes. So, like, we were talking, just like, everybody's been saying, like, animation is changing. Like, we're not just doing the typical, like, the typical Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks look. I don't know why all 3 of those studios have just settled on a look that, like, oh, this is how animated movies look from now on. They're really going, like, highly stylized, highly different stuff, which is good. As far as the movies themselves, I love Turning Red. Turning Red was really, really awesome. It got a bit too real at times, because again, I'm not from a Chinese family, but like, I am from a Pakistani family, so Asian, things, are pretty common with even other cross culture. So like, overbearing parents, hiding things from your parents, and like being more comfortable with your friends. I'm like, oh, this got too real. Jeez.
And it's in Canada. And you're
Oh
in
yeah, it's
Canada
in Canada.
now.
Yeah. But like, I'm an immigrant, so like I live in Mississauga, not Toronto. So like I can't really tell. Like, does this look like Toronto? I don't know.
I still remember the infamous like criticism someone had. It's like it takes place in early 2001, and they don't talk about 9/11.
Like, it has nothing to do with the story. Like, okay, even if they mention 9/11, what would it add to the story itself? To like May's journey, who's the main character, to her mom's journey, to her friend's journey. Like, it doesn't add anything. I really, really enjoyed it, and like the journey and like her coming of age story, and like we discussed before, like things that 13-year-old girls like or targeted towards 13-year-old girls gets made fun of a lot. So like it's just sad, but like that's the reality of things. So like be kind to this movie, please. Like, come on, like just because I 13.
I mean, I think now most of the hard hitting stuff got out of the way with it.
Yeah.
I just don't know why that movie got picked on. Like,
I think it also there's an element of it becoming too real, because a lot of parents were pissed off with the movie because they're like, oh, you're encouraging our kids to be disobedient. I'm like, she was never disobedient once. She gets good grades. She does all of the
she's
chores.
Still a positive role model.
Yeah, she still does all of the work around the house, helps her mom. It's just that she's not given an environment to be herself, which like I can relate to, because like and even in my household, like even for you, like you felt like you had to hide your anime and weeb stuff from like not just like. So it's like like
I mean, my parents probably would have been cool. Well, actually, I'm not too sure about my dad. I'm not sure, but my mom would. I mean, my mom occasionally watches anime from time to time herself. So like, yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, so it's like, she's like, she just wants to be like herself and not have this expectation onto her that's like, oh, she has to be the bestest, perfect thing ever. It's like, yeah, like, it was a perfect, awesome, good movie. Lightyear, on the other hand, I have a lot to say.
Yeah, that one I just did not bother.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I had no.
Okay.
Well, see, I think we talked about it. I don't think it was a podcast.
Yeah.
I like the first 3 Toy Story movies.
That's pretty much everyone. I know a lot of people don't like. I like the 4th, but I know a lot of people don't like.
It was just very take it or leave it. I'm like, I won't be rewatching this one anytime soon.
Yeah.
But then I like the Toy Story. I was never like that amazed by Buzz Lightyear. Like, I know you really like the costume and everything. To me, it's like none of the toys in Toy Story. I'm like, I need this toy. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh no, I drove my parents crazy to the point where I think we talked about it in the last podcast. I don't know if it was on the podcast or off it, but like my parents, like recently they went to a mall and they saw all these Toy Story toys like Woody, Buzz Lightyear and stuff. And they like sent me pictures. Like, remember this when you drove us crazy wanting this as a kid? And I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. Yeah, no, I drove my parents. Like, I want a Buzz Lightyear toy. I want Woody. I loved them. I don't know why. And also, I watched the Buzz Lightyear cartoon as a kid. Like, I had that movie on VHS.
I caught random episodes as a kid, but I didn't watch much Disney growing up.
You were more of a Nickelodeon kid, right?
Yeah, I was more of a Nickelodeon kid. I wanted to watch more Cartoon Network, but my parents didn't really like a lot of Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, for me, like everybody around me was a Cartoon Network kid. So
yeah, I know. My childhood was a bit fucked up like that.
Yeah, because like you were like very recently watched all of Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm like,
yeah. Okay, see, also I did see one episode because it was at the end of a Scooby-Doo movie. And it freaked the shit out of me, so I was just not interested. It was like the Return the Slab episode. But how that scared the shit out of me, because like my parents used to have like a van that had like a VCR player in it, which was very handy when you went on like trips.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching the Scooby-Doo movie. I think it was the one where like Shaggy gets an alien girlfriend. I forgot the name of it.
The fuck? There's a movie like that? Okay.
Yeah. There's a movie. It was like from that kind of like Scooby-Doo Renaissance period where they all looked really good, and like like Zombie Island and all that. I think it was like the movie that followed Zombie Island. Anyways,
I didn't see Zombie. I didn't even heard of it until I was an adult. Like, oh, there's a movie. There's one that the monsters are real. I saw the witch one.
Oh yeah, I saw that one as a kid too.
I saw the witch one with the hex girls and everything.
I saw a lot of Scooby-Doo because my brothers were younger. They were really into Scooby-Doo, so I happened to see it. I mean, I was
Do they
always
know
cool
about
with
Mystery
Scooby-Doo.
Inc. then?
No, see, they grew out of
Oh, they grew out of
Scooby-Doo by
it.
that
Okay,
time.
yeah. Okay.
That was like when they were 5 years old.
Mhm.
Because again, when you're a kid, you'd be obsessed with something and just watch it over and over again and consume it, and then the next thing. Because I remember they were obsessed with Finding Nemo, and I think they watched Finding Nemo so much to like at a point I could probably read you the script of the show. That's how much they were watching it at the time. Which I liked Finding Nemo, but not that much.
For me, I rewatched a bit of that old 90s, early 2000s, like Buzz Lightyear cartoon movie. And memories, like, viscerally came back to my head. I'm like, oh my God, I think I know what the next line is. And he says it, like, word for word what I thought. I'm like, oh
that happens to me. That same thing happened to me when I was watching, like, the first season of SpongeBob. Dude, it was like I felt like I was psychic. I was like psychically predicting the next line, the next action. I was really shocked, like how ingrained into my memory, like a lot of season 1 and 2 SpongeBob was in my brain.
It really makes me wonder. Like, I don't know how I could watch something over and over and over again as a kid, whereas an adult, I'm like, if I've seen it even twice, I'm like, I think that's enough, to be honest. Like, I saw more than once.
Like as a kid, you get really obsessive with certain things, and it's like if you really like something, you just want more of it, but like you want more of the same thing. Whereas now it's like, you like something and you want more of it, but you want it in different. Like you like superheroes, but you're not going to keep on consuming the same superhero.
Yeah, same superhero story again and again.
Like, you're going to either branch out to other stories with that superhero or different superheroes.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Lightyear. So, like, I loved Buzz Lightyear as a kid. I wanted the toy. I had the toy, actually, yeah. The only thing that bothered me was, I swear to God, this is how much I remember. I had the Buzz Lightyear toy. It had the feature where if you press the button, wings pop out. Wings were not purple. They were white. I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah. I don't know why back in the day toys used to just be off color.
I thought it was just a very unique thing to like the particular toy I had.
No, there's like so many Jurassic Park toys I had where like the dinosaurs are like neon colors. I'm like, why?
Because Jurassic Park toys look nothing like the movie. They were very like cartoony.
Yeah, there's a couple like dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, that wasn't in the movie. And like I don't know why this looks like it's like a comic book dinosaur.
TMNT also, like when their tour line came out, there were a lot of toys that were not in the show, like a lot of monsters, like Muckman or whatever. Like there's not in the show at all. So like there was even, I swear to God, and I had one of them. I had a Donatello that could transform into a turtle, like just a regular turtle.
What?
Yeah, there was, and then I looked it up and like. You could buy all 4 turtles because Transformers was big at the time. So they're like, oh, what if we did turtle Transformers? They could get like turtle in samurai uniforms and like, I don't know what. Like you could get turtles in different versions, and they made one where they could transform back and forth between their like standard, teenage ninja form and the like just a normal turtle form. And they just showed you the steps on how to transform it. And I had Donatello as a kid like that.
Why would they want to turn him back into a turtle?
I don't know. I'm like once they get into Teenage Ninja Turtle form, it's like, okay, this is how it is from now on. Who cares what they were as turtles? But like, you could do that.
Yeah, I don't think they ever yearned to be a turtle.
Yeah, it's just they just wanted to get on the Transformers hype that like, oh, kids like Transformers toys, well, we can do that too.
I guess, it's just another way to make that money.
Yeah. So I loved Buzz Lightyear as a kid. I think the movie brainwashed me. Like, yeah, it is the coolest toy ever. I'm like, it is the coolest toy ever. Fuck yeah. I watched.
I was too into Digimon, so I was just
and then I saw the cartoon movie, and literally, the cartoon movie starts with like Pixar animation of all the toys sitting down in front of the TV and watching the movie.
Oh yeah, I think I actually remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, when they released this, I'm like, you've already done this. I've seen this. I was like, did I imagine that shit? Like, then I Googled, like, no, this movie exists. Okay, so I'm not crazy. You've already done this. So like, why do this whole entirely different thing again? There's so many continuity problems. Number one, he gets the suit at the very end. And like, if you've seen the Toy Story movies, 90% of the thing is like, oh my God, the suit is so cool. It's evil Emperor Zurg.
he's not an emperor in the movie at all. It's just spoilers, by the way. Buzz Lightyear. It's a time traveling Buzz Lightyear that's older. That's why Zurg, and he's only called Zurg because the robots he programmed them to say Buzz, but they couldn't do it, so they say Zurg instead.
Oh, that is stupid. That is dumb. That didn't need an explanation.
Yeah,
there was no need for that. That is so uncalled for. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have left the theater.
Because they do it at when the reveal happens that like Zurg is actually like Buzz Lightyear from the future.
So why does he become evil?
Okay, so what happens is that it's interstellar rules. They crash land on a planet by mistake. It turns out to be hostile. They try to escape, but they crash land. So basically, human civilization makes like a small colony, like on this hostile planet that they know nothing about. Now, at the start, their goal is like, hey, we need to eventually get our ship working again and go back into space and like, whatever their original mission was. So, Buzz Lightyear is there. They send him off into space, and he goes out there for 4 minutes to do something like to make sure to test if their hyperdrive is fixed, right? So if their hyperdrive is fixed, then they can space travel right properly. But for every 4 minutes he's out in space, 4 years pass on this planet, because again, it's like interstellar rules. Because every time they hyper jump, like the planet ages differently, and time works differently. So Buzz is obsessed with like fixing. That's one of his character arcs, like him needing to let go and like live with his mistakes. Or sometimes you make a mistake and something beautiful happens because like he does the mission over and over and over again. So he is staying the same age. Everybody else around him is becoming old and dying. Like his commander-in-chief, who he has like a really close friendship with, she gets married, gets a family, goes old, dies while he's still the same age. So then that, what do you call? The Buzz eventually at some point perfects the hyperdrive, but he does it illegally because like the new commander's like, no, we've decided we're going to stay here, we're going to live on this planet, fuck the mission. He disagrees, so he literally steals a jet, goes to space, comes back down, expecting everybody to greet him like, hey, I fixed the thing, we can travel now. The commander's like, no, you're going to be arrested, so he escapes. And he decides to, escapes, he finds a ship, by the way. That's the ship he didn't create. He finds the Zurg armor, he finds a different ship, and time passes, so he decides to go back in time, change the timeline. So then the Buzz of that time has a completely different set of events. And then he meets, future Buzz or past Buzz. Old Buzz. Okay? Because time is, yeah. And like basically teams up with him because his hyperdrive like crystal thing has like deteriorated and is like can't use it anymore. So he needs his like fresh new like hyperdrive crystal thing to go do hyperdrive stuff. So that's basically the why he's future Buzz. Yeah, like why he's old.
What
yeah.
the
Yeah, I know. It's very interstellar super sci-fi. Like the old cartoon show, it just went like he's a space ranger, bad guys are out there, he has to go fight them, and it's full on like, Flash Gordon, like crazy sci-fi, crazy aliens. Zurg is actually an evil emperor with like a robot army. No explanation as to why he's called Zurg. He's just called Zurg. Everything has a Z on it. Like Batman puts a bat on everything, he puts a Z on everything.
As it should be. I don't think it's in space. He could be named whatever.
Yeah, it's 2D animation and it's funny. They're like, I mean, it's kids jokes, but it's still like very clever jokes. His partner that turns evil is called Warp Dark Matter.
There we go.
But in this Lightyear, it's different. They crash land, and he's like, obviously, trying to escape the robots, trying to fix humanity, and he meets like, the granddaughter of his old commander and these other two people. One of them is Taika Waititi. Like, yes, Taika Waititi voices one of them, and he has this cat sidekick robot. who's like supposed to be the cute mascot character. Which it was good. I liked it, but like again, like this would never be made back in 1995. It has a lot of more to think. Like, oh, by the way, Buzz's commander is gay. She has like a lesbian relationship and everything.
Yeah, that was part of the big stink about this movie when it was coming out.
Yeah, but it's specifically made so that like if it ever gets released, they can cut it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, how many of the movies Disney's always like, oh, the first gay, blah blah blah, and it's like you've done it like 5 times. Onwards had like the
one of the Cyclops, like, but that's the sidest of the side characters I've seen. Onward, she doesn't matter at all. And so like it doesn't make sense. He's not an evil emperor. None of these other characters get mentioned ever. Like, where's Socks the cat? Like, I'm sure if Andy was such a hardcore Buzz Lightyear fan, wouldn't he? Like, I got to get Socks. I got to get the other 3 human characters that become Rangers at the end. They're not there. My God, like it's just
man. I just need Buzz. It's all about that Buzz.
And also,
Buzz,
it's like people say like the suit is like, obviously the suit is super colorful because again it's supposed to be like a cartoon, but you have this like very realistic like sci-fi setting because say what you will about Pixar, their animation and how realistic they can make something is on point. But then you have these like really colorful, like people say like Doom armor outfits. And again, like the character also does not match fully. Like he's not like 100% the Buzz that's from the toy and the cartoon. Like the cartoon and Toy Story match pretty much perfectly. Like I can see how this becomes the Buzz toy. But like the movie one, like I don't know, this feels like he says some lines like when he first lands on the plane, he's like, there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Like he literally repeats lines that he said in Toy Story the first time. Or like like when he's about to defeat Zurg for the first time, he's like, "Not today, Zurg." I'm like, okay, all right. So like
to infinity and beyond. And...
Yeah. There's again, they're stuck on a planet, so there's no like to infinity and beyond. They don't like travel like 300 different planets like and they explore space. Like no, they're stuck on one planet. So like there isn't really
like something they say towards the end when they leave the planet.
No, they do. It's a catchphrase between him and the commander, like to infinity and beyond, and like fist bump or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, that's a very bankrupt idea of a movie.
Yeah, and so like Buzz with hair, like weird. Okay.
Yeah, I assumed he had hair under his purple.
Yeah, but you never like in the cartoon, you never see him without his suit on, and like obviously as a toy, like it he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So Lightyear was. So I spoke like, it works. This could have been a separate original like sci-fi movie. The fact that you're putting like Buzz Lightyear shit in it is when it's like, huh? Like that's when I start questioning it, and that's when it starts getting confusing. And like and I told like Shaheen, like he gets it now. Like this felt like instead of like Ultimate Spider-Man, it's like Ultimate Buzz Lightyear. Like what if Buzz Lightyear came out today? What would it be like?
Yeah, but it was one of the shitty Ultimates, not the good Ultimate, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, so like I like how that can be like, because that literally is like in comic book like circles at least like it's like you're making the ultimate version of this. Like it's like this is like Ultimate Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I don't know, Lightyear more like shite year.
I feel like Rebel Taxi did that joke.
Did he?
I get a feeling. I get a strong feeling.
Probably, but like
that sounds like a joke he would make.
Am I wrong though?
Like Lightyear, more like shite year. Am I right? Like that. I can see him saying that.
Yeah. But anyways, what else from that list? Did you see?
I saw Onward. Onward is pretty okay. Like, there's not really.
I remember I saw that because it was back. Like, I think it was like back in the day where like everything was just coming out streaming, and like it was back during like the big lockdown. So I was just watching all these movies with my family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those Pixar movies where it's not a bad movie, but I'm just like, yeah, okay, that just happened.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie, but it's nothing special either.
Like I watched it. It was an hour and a half of my time.
Yeah, like it's good. Like the good moments in it. Like I really like that the brother is not jealous. He's like, oh yeah, you actually have brothers, so this should like speak to you, I guess, more especially being like
Not so much, really.
Really?
And I
Oh,
normally
okay.
love family stuff. I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, this is a movie. Yeah, I feel like this, like, I feel the same way about this as I do about, like, The Good Dinosaur.
I've not seen The Good Dinosaur because I've heard like a lot of like bad
It's just
stuff
like,
about it.
it's just like a movie where I'm like, I didn't hate it. It's just like, it's whatever. Like, I'll
Yeah.
probably never really watch it. It's just something that,
I like that he was like a supportive brother, not jealous, and in the end, like the younger brother realizes, like, hey, like the fact that he let, like, you need to see dad more because, like, the whole point is that, like,
yeah, I mean, like, that was a good scene.
yeah, that was a good scene. That was very good. Action was fun. Like, again, there's nothing bad in it, but I'm like, okay, there's no X factor in this that like makes it really like really great and like really like pop and like make it stand out. It's like, all right, yeah, like if you're looking for a good like 7 out of 10, I've got an hour and 45 minutes to kill, and I need something not bad but like good and nicely paced and like pleasant to look at. Like, yeah, you can watch Onward. I did like that the fact that unicorns are like these feral like rodents. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. Like, that was something that happened in like the Shazam movie.
Oh yeah, unicorns are like these deadly, like scary things. Yeah, in the second Shazam movie. Yeah,
you don't fuck with the unicorns.
Yeah.
What else did you see? Then you saw
Guys. I
right?
saw Bad Guys, but that was a while ago. But like, yeah, that's was pretty freaking awesome. That's like DreamWorks should like, think outside the box and do more of this. Like, it's really, really cool.
I love like how what sold me on the movie originally because I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, that looks interesting. But then someone's review was basically like, it's Lupin the Third. I'm like, oh, okay.
It is basically, yeah. But like, if Lupin cared about being good, yeah, because like the Wolf's character arc is that like we don't have to be bad guys. You can just be like really good guys, and it feels good to be good. Yeah. So yeah, Bad Guys was really, really cool. Fun action scenes, fun characters, fun dialogue. Like,
very stylish.
They're very stylish, new animation style. Like that. That's a movie that's like, oh yeah, this is like really, really fun. Like, like it makes it pop and has an X factor.
It's exciting to look at because that was my problem with Pixar for a while. Like, I'll just look at their movies and like, yeah, they look really nice, but I'm not excited at what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because like it looks the same every time. There's nothing like unique or special or like interesting or like diverse about it. It's just like, okay, this is the models we've locked into. We'll slightly change it a bit for each movie. We'll make the faces rounder or whatever, but like other than that, it looks pretty much the same. Like rubbery, round face, plasticky, like figures.
Right.
Yeah. Then I saw Puss in Boots: The Last Stitch. Like pretty much everyone has been praising. Like, why is this Puss in Boots movie so good?
it honestly is pretty insane. I'm like, I still remember seeing that. I think the first time I saw the trailer for it was like when I was watching One Piece Red in theaters. I'm like, wow, the first Puss in Boots movie wasn't even that good, and I saw that so long ago. I was still living in Dubai. I think I was still in high school.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years, right, since the last one?
Yeah, I was like I was in high school when the first one came out, and I'm like, now they're making it. I'm like, the style looks interesting, but like, I don't know.
But again, like a really fun adventure, and like Puss in Boots has a really nice character arc. The villain in that, holy shit.
Both villains, really.
Yeah, both villains. Yeah, I mean, like the one is like a typical villain I would expect from the movie, but like Death was like something else.
Yeah, Death was some. I mean, I don't know. Jack Horner was kind of a menace too. Like, he straight up kills people in the movie.
Yeah.
What
is he? He's supposed to be who? What is like fairy tale?
Jack Horner, like. I think that is like the actual story, but like
that was actually
like, he just sticks his thumb in a pie and.
Because I never heard of that fairy tale before. I'm like, what the fuck are you?
It's not I think I've heard it like once or twice, but it was never like
got like Goldilocks and like the three bears, and she realizes that like, oh, like I just need this weird bear family to be my family.
I don't know what's up with media. It's like, yeah, bears are great family. You got like Winnie the Pooh. You got like We Bare Bears. I guess Paddington to an extent, which I
Brother Bear, if you remember that movie.
Yeah, I do. I actually had it on DVD.
Yeah, I saw it as a kid a lot as well.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah.
See, that's the thing with like bears in real life. Like when they were designed and brought out to the world, I'm like, why do we have like these giant cuddly creatures?
Yeah, when in actuality you should never get close to them.
Yeah, in actuality, they're like the most fucking savage. Like they're super fast, super strong, got like insane claws and teeth. It's like a murder animal, but it's like they're so cute. It's like why would you do that?
I think just because it's like big and fluffy, like that's really it. Like,
yeah, it's like it's just a big fluffy animal. You just want to like hug it, but it's like yeah, in reality, that thing will like tear you to shreds.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This one I'm really excited for. Please watch this movie. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. It's called Nimona. It's based off a graphic novel by the lady who did Lumberjanes. Yeah. It was a graphic novel. So this movie has an interesting like production history. So it was supposed to be done by Blue Sky, but then Disney purchased Fox, which owns Blue Sky, and they shut down Blue Sky. And Disney decided to like cancel the movie because it has a lot of gay themes in it, like about being an outsider and being seen as a monster, and also it has a straight up like gay couple in it that kiss and everything. Yeah, and like so like Disney dropped it, and then like another company picked it up when the movie was like I think like 70% storyboarded or something. Like, it was very far along production. And so another studio picked it up, and then thankfully Netflix bought the distribution rights, and now we have it and it exists now. It is so much fun. It is really cool. I nearly cried because of the relationship between the two main characters. So the story is that like there's this knight who's a commoner, and then like he manages to like come into this society and become a knight where only like select people of the bloodline get to be knights. And he gets framed for murdering the queen, and he meets this like little gremlin like crazy child who like can shapeshift and stuff. And so they go on this crazy adventure to help like become innocence in his like to make bring innocence back to his name and stuff, and prove that he's not the one that murdered the queen. And they eventually built this like father-daughter bond. And like the animation is beautiful. It looks completely different than anything you've seen from like Hollywood before. And the characters, especially Nimona herself, is super super fun. And like like she's crazy. Like for everything, she's like, "Can we murder this thing?" Like, no, you cannot murder it. It's like, damn it. And she makes these like the facial expressions are super expressive. Like they go into full on like in anime when they're trying to like make a comedic scene or like make sure someone's angry. They don't mind changing the proportions and the teeth and stuff. So when there's parts when she wants to get crazy, she goes like metal. There's flames in her eyes and her teeth become like sharp and stuff. So I'm like, oh my god, like thank you. Like I don't need the stupid like not that stupid, but like Pixar would never do that, or like wouldn't do it. Like maybe now they will, but like before, the once upon a time they would never. Like the action's pretty fun. Like I said, there are queer themes in it, some of which I didn't even realize the first time. Like for example, the reason why she can shapeshift is it's a commentary on gender fluidity.
No, okay.
Yeah, like so, like people like they like feel like they're not really into one. They shift to one to the other. I'm like, oh, okay, that I would never have. Because again, I'm not a queer person myself, so I've never. I'm like, oh, just cool shape-shifting gremlin child. Okay.
Yeah. Because like, I guess the trailers didn't do any good jobs for it. Not like that Netflix is really good for good marketing.
Oh yeah, I ignored it. I'm like, okay, this doesn't like look interesting. But then I saw people talking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, it looks.
Because I saw like I think I saw one trailer. I'm like, this just looks cringy and annoying. Like whatever, okay.
Yeah.
But then. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to give that a look at some point.
Yeah, it really is good. Please watch it. It's so good. I've seen some criticism where there are like the plot's really simple, but what makes it like stand out is the characters and like the action and stuff. That's what makes it really really stand out. And like I could relate to it quite a bit. And there also like there's a lot of themes about like, hey, just because an institution says something, that doesn't mean it's necessarily true. And like a little bit of like, police commentary and how like the rich want to keep everything the same and status quo and put everybody down. And then alongside the queer themes and stuff.
Oh man, you mean this is woke?
Oh, this is very. If you hate woke shit, do not watch this movie. It is very, very woke, but it's still good. It's not like, because one of the things like, so one of the people that like hate woke shit it's like, no, I'm progressive myself. I just hate it when it becomes in this like lecture form. Where it's like the movie stops to give a lecture. I guarantee you this movie does not stop to give a lecture. It's all woven into the narrative. Okay? So if you're that person, like, yeah, this will hit that. But if you're not, if you're like, no, I hate all of these ideas. I don't like seeing gay people on screen. Okay. This is not for you. I 100% do not watch it. Forget what I said. Yes. Yeah.
It's just, I find it funny these days we've progressed where like I sometimes I'll watch a trailer and if you scroll down to the comments, there's always some one dumbass motherfucker that's just like, is this woke? 3 question marks? Like almost like they're scared. Like if it is woke, their brains are going to explode or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I like how that word has lost all meaning at this point.
Oh, it has. Somebody did. Who was it? Oh yeah, I think it was Wisecrack, the YouTube channel. They did a video on like, okay, what does woke actually mean? It actually comes from Black culture, and it's something that like, the news stole and like Republicans stole, and this changed it and morphed it. Now it's like, it doesn't mean anything anymore because like, what the fuck is even?
And also, like, I don't know why all comedians are obsessed with it.
Like Spider-Verse is technically woke, I guess, because he has like BLM sticker and
isn't like most superheroes kind of in a sense
woke, yeah, because they like by design they are like inclusive and like they don't want anybody to feel left out. That's like different. Like
they are the truest definition of a social justice warrior.
Yeah.
Anyways,
a lot of comedians are obsessed with it. I was really disappointed with Bill because I love Bill Burr. He's like one of my favorite comedians, but his latest like stand-up special is all about like cancel culture and woke shit. I'm like,
dude, I live in Vegas, so a lot of comedians come here and do their shows, and like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes in some podcasts, some of the advertisements are like, oh, this is Kevin Hart's newest special, this is Bill Burr's newest special, like blah blah. I don't really follow that many stand-up comedians.
I love stand-up comedians. Like I watched like John Mulaney's newest one. It was really good. I love Dave Chappelle. Like, so I'm a stand-up comedy fan. So I pay attention to the shit more. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really. And every time I see a stand-up comedian being brought to attention, it's usually because they said something fucked up. So I'm like, I don't know. Except Fluffy. I don't know. Fluffy stays winning, I guess. I don't know.
Fluffy I find boring now.
Yes, because every time I see him, it's like it's the same joke. I'm like, now you're just safe. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Also, like he doesn't. I know comedians do this, but Fluffy's especially guilty of it. His stand-up stuff is not even like jokes or like interesting commentary or like weird observations. It's just him telling a story now. Like,
and I could be fine with that.
That could be fine, but
I don't know.
He does it again and again every special. I'm like, okay, could you like do something different instead of just like, I went on vacation. These are the weird stuff that happened. I'm like, okay.
I guess. I don't know. I would be fine because like, essentially when people listen to certain podcasts, that's essentially what they're getting.
No, but that's a podcast. Like
I guess.
When I'm listening to a podcast, I have a very different mindset to when I'm watching a stand-up special. So,
I guess. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, I swear to God, every time I see a stand-up comedian these days advertising their newest special, it's always like Jeff Dunham and canceling cancel culture, Dave Chappelle and
or the transphobic comments.
Just like their specials are like named after cancel culture or woke, or it's like that's all they talk about now. I'm like, do you guys have like anything else you want to talk about? I feel that if you want to talk about current issues, I feel there's like a lot more you could talk about than being
John
canceled.
Mulaney made a whole joke out of it because like obviously all that news came that like, oh, he has like a cocaine issue, he's in rehab, he divorced his wife, and he made a joke like, yeah, the young kids don't like me anymore, and then he makes a point like, wanting to always be likable is a cage in itself. And I'm like, oh, that is, he has a point. Yeah.
I mean, again, like the saying goes, you can't please everyone.
Yeah, you can't please everyone, and like trying to be that, and like he full on talks about like being in rehab, the problems he faced. He admits to being an asshole and not being the best person. I'm like, oh, this is like pretty good. Yeah.
Even though when the whole can't please anyone, there's a lot of people that use it as an opportunity to just be an asshole. It's like, listen, be like just be like Superman.
Yeah, or like yeah, try your best to be Superman, like because like Superman says the perfect thing every time.
Just like not everyone likes him. Some people are like, "Oh, you're just a stupid alien." Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay.
You
Yeah.
know, if a building's coming your way, I'm still going to save you because I'm Superman and
Yeah.
I'm what you should strive to be.
Yep.
Like, thank you, alien man.
Thank you, alien man.
Yeah.
Can I touch your cape, please?
Can I touch your cape? Who made your costume?
Then he goes, my mom.
Yeah, I know. In the new Adventures of Superman, he gets his cape. It's given to him from his like space cradle ship thing.
Yeah. In that magical girl transformation scene.
Yeah, but then like the trunks come from his mom because his mom's like, I think your costume's missing a little something.
Mm-hmm. Which I like. I like that we are definitively now like we've gone past the whole. Should he still have underwear? I'm like, yes, because the costume works with the underwear.
I feel like this show, besides like some significant character redesigns, I feel like it understands, at least from these 2 episodes, I feel like it understands the character. At least Superman as a character. It's to be determined with Deathstroke.
Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't even have swords. He had like these long tasers.
The more you say, like, the more you talk about him, the more I hate him.
It's very. I'm not sure if this is going to be the Deathstroke origin story where he gets fucked up, loses an eye, becomes angry.
He lost his eye in like. Oh, okay, no. He didn't lose it in war. That he lost it. Like there is a story. Like he was trying to protect his son and stuff, and he lost his eye. Like but he's like a. This is not Deathstroke. This is somebody else like trying to cosplay as Deathstroke, and he's like an e-boy.
I mean, I don't think they've name dropped him yet. They could be.
He has
like,
the colors. He's got
I don't know.
Maybe
they're like this. Doesn't Deathstroke have a son?
He does. Jericho. Yes.
Okay. Well, who's Ravager?
Oh, that's his daughter, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they could probably like still pull the rug out and be like, "Oh, this is actually Jericho." I don't know. I don't know that much about Deathstroke outside of anything I saw.
I know him from like obviously like Teen Titans, Slade. And
Dude,
because they couldn't use
Ron
Deathstroke.
Perlman as that role was so chillingly good.
Yeah, and then from the comics, I've read New Teen Titans and some of New Titans, which are the 2 series. Which and like Deathstroke made his debut in that. He's not this anymore, but I would really like the idea because for a while they were trying to make him like Nightwing's Joker. Like, this is like Nightwing's #1 villain. And I was like,
okay.
That would be because like Deathstroke like started off as a Teen Titan villain. He just only fought the Teen Titans and that's it. And obviously like Nightwing being the leader of the group for most of it. He faced him a lot and stuff. So it's like, yeah, like that would make sense. Like if he spun off like and became Nightwing's #1 villain. But like, he's kind of become like anybody's villain, or even now with Superman, I guess. Yeah,
it's a little slut like that.
Like Kingpin, at least is like okay, Spider-Man and Daredevil, the 2. The Deathstroke, it's like Batman a lot. Arrow now, I guess, because of the Arrow show.
That was the only other way I saw Deathstroke.
Yeah. But like, that one got the costume like right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, so let's see what happens. I hope, like, I don't know. It's clearly the show is doing its own thing. I just hope it's a good Superman show at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if those 2 episodes are anything then to keep by, like as long as we can continue on this direction, I think it's fine. I think this one's probably a little bit more focused on like Superman and Lois, which is fine. They're very cute together.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know.
I was blushing like a little anime girl watching them. So like, just like it could just be that, and I think I would have been fine as well.
Shaheen, imagine if they did this for Mary Jane and Peter Parker.
See, even just saying that now.
By the way, Mary Jane is a superhero now.
Yeah. She was like Jackpot.
Yeah, Jackpot. Yeah, she has.
So what's her power?
I don't know what her power is. I'm not reading again like the current Spider-Man, but like
I think she has luck-based powers, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm like, you have Domino. Isn't she the one with luck-based powers?
Oh, okay. Is that why she's paired up with Black Cat? Because Black Cat has like
Oh yeah,
misfortune
like,
powers.
maybe like it's like they kind of play with her. Like, does she have powers? Does she? I don't know. Okay. But like everybody's complaining, like why can't you just make her like a normal human person? Because like people are right.
People are saying like Spider-Man's like supporting cast is just like non-existent these days, and then make them interesting. It's like give them powers,
which is sad because like Superman and Spider-Man have very interesting supporting casts. Like they both have like the biggest support. Like this is why they get compared a lot, and why some people consider Spider-Man to be the Superman of the Marvel Universe, where it's like they both work in journalism, both have like extensive supporting cast. Like for Peter Parker, it's like J. Jonah Jameson, Aunt May, Gwen Stacy is dead, but like Harry Osborn, and stuff like Gwen. Like look at like Ultimate reading right now. How many supporting characters he has in that? Then Superman, same way. Like you got Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Professor Hamilton, who is like the guy. He's like his science guy. And then he has like they have a large like extensive like supporting cast. But then I don't know. Everybody has to turn super. Superman, they have not done that yet. Thank God. Like Jimmy is still Jimmy, Lois is still Lois. And Mind Pa Kent are still Mind Pa Kent. But like I know for Spider-Man, it's like Harry Osborn turned into a goblin. Mary Jane has spider powers now. I'm sure Aunt May at some point will either die or have powers. Like so, yeah.
Yeah, Aunt May gets some kind of like immortality, so she could never die.
So yeah, like I don't know what they're doing. I really wish like just keep side characters, like, and especially like the hero is only special because of how he affects the regular people around him, and like how that's why he stands out, and like that's his journey. And like it's funny because like they're like, oh my god, Spider-Man married is very unrelatable, very like no one can relate to that, and then like but making his ex-girlfriend a superhero. Who got it from another dimension is super relatable. I never
understood that excuse. Because like, Spider-Man is a relatable character because he goes through like, things that people like go through. But at the same time, normal people don't have fucking spider abilities and fight with the Avengers and fuck all sorts of supermodels on a daily basis.
Yeah.
No one's a nerd with abs that has like insane charisma to pull in all these girls.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. To be fair, it was just 2 girls at the start. Oh no, Betty Brant. Never mind. That 3 girls. No, there's also that other one, the one that doesn't matter at all. She's blonde with glasses.
Liz Allen?
No, not Liz Allen. Did he date Liz Allen? I know
she was a love interest.
Yeah, she was. She had a crush on Peter, but I don't think it ever went anywhere. Debbie something. Debbie Whitman, I think her name is. Yeah,
I haven't heard
Peter Parker
of that
treats her
character.
like fucking shit. Like, and the poor girl keeps on blaming herself because she doesn't know what's going on. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't understand. Peter's being an asshole.
I've never even heard of that character.
Yeah, you have to read like 70s and 80s Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh, also 80s Amazing Spider-Man, but like. The relationship starts in Spectacular and it gets like mentioned like on the side in Amazing. Yeah, so
I see.
Yeah, so you'll meet her later on. Trust me. Yeah, but no, she doesn't matter at all. I'm like Gwen and Mary Jane are the only important ones, but Gwen dies. So like
so then it's Mary Jane and then Black Cat, and then we go through a whole rabbit hole of other women.
Yeah. Oh, there's also Black Cat, right? He also dated Black Cat for a while. Yeah. But Black Cat, clearly is not the right one because she's like, I don't give a shit about Peter Parker. I want to fuck Spider-Man.
The mask stays on during sex. But like, see, the thing is, like, the way Spider-Man is at the moment, because I feel like everyone that talks about Spider-Man in a good light these days, it comes from Spider-Man being in someone else's comic. Like, everyone loves Spider-Man in the current Daredevil. Everyone loves Spider-Man in like the Peter David, Joe Fixit spinoff that came.
He's in that. I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like as Peter Parker, he stares down Kingpin, and Kingpin's like, "Get out of my way," and Peter Parker's like, "No, screw you, fatso." And everyone's like, "Oh, that's my Spider-Man." And then, Spider-Man in the Daredevil comic book, every time you see him, it's like, oh my god, he's the greatest superhero ever. Then you read the main title, it's like, he's a cuck. It's just like, God, I almost feel like Spider-Man is a character that needs a crisis.
He did. It's called Brand New Day.
He needs another brand new day. He needs a totally start from fresh day.
Yeah, but Mary Jane has kids now, so I don't know.
She needs one too. I need like fucking Thanos to come down, snap, but it resets the timeline for Spider-Man only. Everyone else can stay with their own bullshit. Spider-Man, like they've damaged him. He needs to revert back to like the early 2000s.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Like once they saw like, oh, they're turning Mary Jane, because I thought they were like doing it like for a little bit just for that Black Cat book, and then like, she's gonna turn back to normal. It's fine. But no, they're sticking with it. I'm like,
yeah, because like I don't know how much actual damage control. Like, how do you fix what Spider-Man is right now? Because again, I haven't been reading it. I've just been really like heavily following it because I'm still reading Spider-Man early. I can't imagine going from where I'm currently at to where it's currently now. And I know comics, change and everything for the better or worse.
Spider-Man is like how many years old? 60. He's like 60, 70 years old now. So like a lot has happened, my man.
But still, like Superman, like I know he comes and goes with Lois Lane, but still, like that's the main thing.
I mean, after a while, it's not even coming and going. He full on marries her. Like, there's no one else.
Like,
it's just her.
Bendis come in. He kind of tried splitting him up for a bit, didn't fully split up. But it's like, oh, you guys need time, and then
but like, thank God that never went anywhere. They're just back to being a normal couple. It's because because Bendis just wants to fuck shit up for some reason. I don't know why this like modern Bendis like sounds so different from like Ultimate Spider-Man Bendis.
Again, my only Bendis consumption has been through Ultimate and then Batman Universe. And Batman Universe was really fun. I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I saw more of like a jolly Batman. Like, I'm like, I get it. I don't. Maybe I don't want him to be jolly all the time, but it'd be nice to see him be like a decent person to his team.
Like Daredevil, they did that one run where he's like happy with Mark Waid. But like the rest of the time he's miserable, and they go back to him being miserable again. So like maybe something like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like he could.
Although I feel like people would have like a really big problem with that. Like, no, he's Batman. He's supposed to be miserable. I'm like, yeah, you got a kind of point.
Like, why don't you be miserable 24/7, Bucko? Like, let the man be like, I don't know. I'm in the camp where I just want my superheroes to be in good relationships and be happy. That's the kind of person I am. I don't want them constantly being beaten down and miserable and living in eternal hell all the time.
Don't read Daredevil. Don't read Batman. Don't even read Moon Knight by that extension, I guess. Then
I mean, I want to read Daredevil, but like
so I'm a part of the like Marvel Discord, right? So I like sometimes chat with them. They're like, if you think Spider-Man is going through hell, Daredevil has gone through like twice as much.
But like, is it in character for Daredevil to be in this situation?
That's what most people say. Like, yeah, this is pretty on brand. Like, it's not like as egregious like Spider-Man's doing like wacky shit.
Like, I'm fine with like a character getting beaten down like that, but as long as it doesn't feel like an editor has like.
Or manufactured it. Like,
I don't want to like, you know what? I'm just going to kill off this character that doesn't have that much relation to Spider-Man, but I'm going to make their death front and center in an issue.
For those who don't know, they're killing off Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel in Amazing Spider-Man, and it's like, number one, Miles is her friend. She doesn't have really any relation to Peter Parker. And also, like, really another death that you're going to bring back later, because like
also kind of a big middle finger, because earlier in the month when that issue was announced, it was like, oh, Asian Heritage Month, Kamala Khan, oh, how great she is, let's celebrate her. A couple weeks later, boom, she dead, bitch. Not even in her own comic, but in Spider-Man's comic. Sales, baby, fuck all of you. I never cared about you guys. This is reality.
The speculation is that because Kamala Khan is Inhuman with like stretchy powers in the comics, but on the show, she has like these like crystal powers, and they're like they don't really say one way if she's like a mutant or Inhuman. So what they're saying is that she will die, she'll get reborn as a mutant with the TV show powers, the crystal powers, and they'll do away with the the stretchy powers things that she has. So yeah, there you go. The Inhuman erasing, which I know you don't care about them. So
yeah, they could be erased all they want. I don't really care. Good for her. Go be a mutant. You go.
For me, it's sad because like if there was one Inhuman that like everyone like was like very quickly became popular and everyone like other than Black Bolt, I guess. It's like, oh yeah, it was Kamala Khan, and it was like kind of unique that she's not a mutant, she's Inhuman. But like, yeah, no, but like, no one cares about Inhuman. So like, well, she's too big to be an Inhuman, so we have to make her a mutant, which is like, I know, kind of sad to me. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it
this
sucks.
poor
It had
corner
to be like that.
of the Marvel universe, like nobody gives a that in Eternals, no one gives a shit about.
I mean, I guess the Eternals are kind of cool, but like in a universe as busy as Marvel, I'm like, why
you don't care at all? Yeah,
it's like they're too like grand, you know. It's like when everything else is grand too. It's like you guys kind of feel redundant.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, there's not like, to be fair, they've never worked like even when Jack Kirby made them, it was like a small series, not small series, like 12 issues, I think, or something like that. And they've had mini series since then. They've never had like a full on ongoing that lasted hundreds of
like
issues.
even Neil Gaiman, I think, did like
Neil Gaiman like kind of sort of rebooted them in like the mid 2000s,
and still people didn't really care. So
no, like Eternals is one of the things that like they've tried, and if they've never 100% like stuck the landing, and like, oh yeah, now it's the Eternals time, bitches. No, same thing with Inhumans. Like Inhumans for a kind of a while they tried super hard when they wanted to like, oh no, fuck mutants, it's Inhumans, that's the shit now. That didn't really take it either. People still want, I mean, in a world with mutants, it's very hard to argue like, why do Inhumans exist? Yeah, even me, like as a person who's like, Inhumans are kind of all right, but like even me, I have a time like, well, okay, why is there like mutants and Inhumans as well? I'm like, that I cannot tell you. That you'll have to ask Stan and Jack. I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but those those characters, man.
Yeah.
I know we were going to talk about Toy Story lore, but we might have to save that for another. It's been 2 hours 20 minutes.
That's true.
Might be the longest ones we have.
I will talk with you that maybe next episode. I'll definitely talk to you about that off the podcast, because I saw a short, because I've been watching Toy Story shorts on Disney Plus, and I'm like, the rules, I'm questioning all the rules on this. But like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I guess that's it for today.
So that is another episode of the Falcon Punchcast. I guess we have a topic set in mind for the next one. So look forward to the Toy Story lore podcast. Falcon Punchers, as always, keep punching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.